With Vice President Vance casting the tie-breaking vote, the Republican spending and tax cut bill has been sent to the House for final congressional action, which could come today. Congressional Republicans enjoy their highest approval rating in more than a decade.
A record high share of American voters are content with the work of Republican lawmakers, according to the latest NPR PBS News Marist poll. In the survey conducted last June, 36% of registered voters approve of the job Republicans in Congress are doing, the highest level recorded since pollsters began asking the question in 2011. Democrats in Congress, meanwhile, have seen a dramatic drop in their approval rating in the latest poll.
Correspondent Bernie Bennett. It is another win in the legal arena for President Trump.
Paramount has agreed to pay $16 million to settle President Donald Trump's lawsuit over the editing of a CBS 60 Minutes October interview with then Vice President Kamala Harris. Paramount says the money will go to Trump's future presidential library, not Trump himself, and that the settlement does not involve an apology. But Paramount has agreed that 60 Minutes will release transcripts of future interviews with presidential candidates, subject to redactions as required for legal and national security concerns. I'm Donna Warder.
The University of Pennsylvania is formally apologizing to its female swimmers negatively impacted by its policy on so-called transgender athletes. The school is reversing its policy and will rewrite its athletic record book, removing the titles held by Leah Thomas. Guilty plea expected today from Brian Koberger, charged with the murder of 4 University of Idaho students several years ago. For the plea, Koberger gets a life prison sentence instead of a death sentence upon conviction. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures down 14 points and NASDAQ futures off 87. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Look at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Dr. Howard D.C., founder of Balance of Nature and formulator of the fruits and veggies and fiber and spice supplements, has teamed up with veterinarian Dr. Jake to create Dr. Fido's Dog Food Topper, a tasty, nutritious way to enrich your dog's meals. Just scoop, sprinkle, and stir. Call 888-388-7297 or go to drfidos.com, drphytos.com. And for a limited time, order now and receive a 10% discount with our money-back guarantee by using promo code BALANCE.
A wildfire in Spain turns deadly in the midst of a punishing Europe-wide heat wave.
Spanish authorities say 2 people have died in northeastern Spain in a wildfire that spread quickly before firefighters brought it under control. Catalan Regional President Salvador Illa announced the deaths in a social media post around midnight on Tuesday. The fire came amid a European heatwave that sent thermometers soaring across large areas of the continent and set record high temperatures for June in Spain and Portugal. A total of 16,000 acres burned before firefighters established a perimeter and declared the blaze was under control. Some 14,000 people have been ordered to stay indoors. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And heat alerts are in place today for 17 Italian cities. The corresponding surge in air conditioning straining the electric grid, causing periodic blackouts. Part of Florence's historic center suffered a blackout yesterday following a surge in electricity demand. Townhall.com. Operation Road Test uncovers driver's license fraud.
Staten Island prosecutors say a New York City driving school paid off DMV examiners to fraudulently fast-track driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, regardless of whether they knew how to drive. Officials say T&E Driving School in Queens took cash from non-English-speaking Chinese immigrants and paid off a crew of Department of Motor Vehicles employees on Staten Island to illegally obtain driver's licenses. The crackdown was a joint investigation with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Tasha Stevens reporting.
After President Trump complained about the previous one, a new presidential portrait of Mr. Trump now hangs in the Colorado Capitol. The new artwork is a sterner, crisper image than the earlier one that had been on display since 2019. Mr. Trump complained on social media the previous portrait purposely distorted his image. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
'Tis a dark, dark Wednesday.
It was spittling when I got to work this morning.
'Twas spittling, and that cloud to our east, that's a dark boy. It was so dark, there was no sun this morning.
Yeah. It was, you know what, to be honest?
It was kind of nice.
It was, brighter for me coming into work than it is now. It didn't seem as ominous when I was driving in this morning. It was just kind of spittling.
Yeah.
But now that I look out the window, it looks darker. So I don't know if it's just more clouds have built in the last hour and a half or whatever.
We had a clear spot right above our head. Now it's sort of gathering.
Yeah.
I can, if you close your eyes and listen very closely, you can actually hear Barbara Gomez shivering.
Yeah.
Just nerves. It's okay. This should be gone by Thursday, okay?
Yeah. Well, according to the weather forecast, we have good rain chances, but they're expecting less rain than yesterday if they're accurate.
I don't know what happened yesterday. It didn't feel like it rained all that much, and yet I was still driving through a river for most of Roswell. I've just come to the determination Roswell just does not have any kind of good drainage. I mean, and I know that's a known thing.
Right.
But my God, it did not feel like it rained that much. But in parts, boy, it gathered.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I remember, like, when I left for lunch, and it was not raining yet.
Right.
And then, as I went home, I could hear it raining, but it didn't sound torrential.
No, just, a little pitter-patter.
But then I go back to work, and there's, the Lake Roswell's in the middle of every, low intersection. And I'm like, it didn't rain that much. Where did all this? And I'm guessing we just saturated, so any moisture we get just puddles.
Yeah. Yeah, we're full up at this point, so we can't take no more.
Well, good news is today and then tomorrow, we're looking at we're like 50% tomorrow.
Okay.
60% today.
All right,
but nothing for Independence Day Friday or Saturday.
That's good. That is a good thing.
So that's kind of the double-edged sword here.
I think the best takeaway from this is we've saturated the ground enough so that fireworks season this year shouldn't be that much of a
I don't
dangerous
think
situation.
We're not. Now that being said,
please exercise caution.
It's not licensed to go World War III with your fireworks.
I'm just saying we're probably not going to start a brush fire.
Yeah.
That being said, don't go shooting bottle rockets at brush.
Please don't be like
bushes.
my former neighbors.
Okay.
Neighbors I had about 8-10 years ago.
This is the Sunset Place
Yeah.
house? Ah.
Those, well, first off, I don't know, a while ago, their house burnt down.
Oh.
Because they have 37 animals in the house and $3,000 worth of fireworks in there.
Yee.
And the little dogs chewed electrical cords and set off the fireworks. and burnt down.
So you were dealing with a situation like in Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Not only is the house burning down, but it's burning down gloriously.
Well, weirdly enough, it was during a UFO festival weekend.
As it would be, yeah.
Because that night, I was in the trailer in the light parade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waving and doing our thing, and we ended. And then afterwards, we all went and had dinner. I think at Chili's, if it matters. But
I believe I had an Alfredo.
And then as my wife and I were driving home, we're getting close to our turn on our street, and I'm seeing the fire trucks and the ambulance. Like, oh, man, what's going on? And then I'm getting close. Like, oh, man, that's not our house. I hope it's not our house.
Right.
And we got right up there, like, and it was one of those, oh, the neighbors. Oh, thank God it's not us. You know what I mean?
No, I completely understand. It's a moment of pure selfishness, but yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. But said neighbors got their house rebuilt, everything else. Year or two later, they didn't learn their lesson. Now, the house didn't burn down the next time.
That's a plus.
But they almost tried to burn down the rest of the neighborhood. They literally sit out in the street. They gave, like, at one point, I came out because one guy's standing in my yard, the other standing in their yard, and they're shooting Roman candles at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching as the Roman candle, the ones that miss, are going under the car of the street of the house next to me. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, y'all better stop before I call the cops. I said, I'm not that guy, but when you're doing this, I'm that guy.
Right. Oh, and please, and this, I mean, this should go without saying.
Yeah.
Please pick up your used and exploded fireworks.
Oh yeah, that's
carcasses.
the other thing. I can't leave my street the next day. Like crunchy, crunch, crunch. I can't back out of my driveway without that mess.
That and the little plastic stands, and there's little nails in those plastic stands. You're just leaving them out in the street. Pick them up. Come on, people. Just pick them up.
Yeah.
But luckily I've never been fireworks guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always seen it as, oh, they're pretty. I'll look at yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not about to waste money literally putting it up in the air.
You know what? I think I soiled those oats as a child.
You soiled your oats?
Yeah.
Did you change them?
I did.
Okay, good.
But no, I think I took care of that need. I scratched that itch when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, don't do this, kids. I remember I've told you stories. We go to the Army Navy store and we play Army and we buy smoke bombs and whippersnappers and whatever shadiness that they can buy out of an Army Navy store, surplus store, and Chinese stars, you name it. But and we literally threw those at each other. And so by the time I'm an adult, I kind of was like, yeah, I'm over this.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I will get a box of Snap-Its and throw those at all of my children.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're harmless.
Yeah. But I'm interested to test this out because the park that I live in has a very strict, absolutely no fireworks thing. They put a thing up on all of our doors.
Like no Stairway to Heaven in the Wayne's World.
just no fireworks whatsoever. So I'm curious if I have Snap-Its, if those count. Because I don't think they do. I think they're just
What if you had a sparkler? Would they throw you out for that?
I would imagine, yeah. This is absolutely no fireworks. No snakes, no sparklers.
Tell them you were out of matches. And that's how you're lighting your cigarettes or something.
Not one Husker do or Husker don't, with or without the Skittle stick.
You know what? We had our David Spade talk yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that Joe Dirt's his high water mark?
As far as movies go, no.
Yeah.
His Farley days have to be his high water mark.
I forget about those. But he wasn't the main dude.
No. David Spade had a real hard time as a leading man after Farley died.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few movies that flew completely under most people's radar. Like Senseless is one, with Marlon Wayans.
I do remember that.
He did a movie, and I think it's called Lost and Found. The whole movie is he steals this very attractive woman's, who he's like very into's dog.
Okay.
And like hides it and is like trying to like help her find it.
I vaguely remember that
she
movie.
She plays the cello, and there was a sticker I think on the back of her car that says "Cellists do it in a chair with their legs open."
I feel like I saw some of that movie. I don't think I've ever
watched that
finished
movie
it.
like 6 times.
I don't think I've ever finished the movie. I feel like I watched some and I was like, and I bailed.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but again, it's nothing you're going to be like, "Mama, I saw a great movie." It's fine. But I watched it a lot because it was always on, like on like free preview weekends or whatever.
And now that I think about it, though, pre-Chris Farley, or even during Chris Farley, he never was the leading guy.
No, he was always he played straight man. And that's the problem when you play the straight man in the comedic duo and you lose your. Dan Aykroyd had the same problem.
Yeah.
You know, because he lost his funny guy and he just was just straight man.
And I can think of one movie where Spade plays straight man and Farley's not in it.
Okay.
And it's PCU.
With Jeremy Piven?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one he plays like the snarky, assistant or whatever. Yeah.
Which that
and I think he does the wig too
that
in
role,
that one too.
That role suits him to a T. The annoying guy who's probably going to rat you out to the CEO.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch? And I think this is kind of where he hid. Is in sitcom. Did you ever watch his show?
Oh yeah, he was
Just Shoot Me.
Yes, he was.
I loved that show.
That was actually an alright show. It had an ensemble cast.
It had a
the
great
rest of the cast was regular. I mean, I don't think they're all like A-list actors, but they were all like you've seen them in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, it's her from
Matter of fact, the one woman that's one of the main women, she's still in active. Like I
think she's
see
in
her
like Law and Order. I think.
Yeah, but like even sitcoms, she's even like. I'm pretty sure just the other day I watched sitcom she was in.
I can't think of her name, but I know.
I know her face.
Yeah.
She plays what's the most recent thing I saw her in? She's the ex-wife of someone in one of these.
Laura San Giacomo.
Yeah,
that's her.
She plays a lot of the these hour-long, there's some show she's in that's kind of big. She's the ex-wife.
You know who I think probably got the best rub off of this show is Wendy Malick. Because for a long time after Just Shoot Me, she was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like she put out a Christmas album. She was in a bunch of random movies and TV shows. She did a bunch of voice work too.
Okay, I need to go back because I don't know if this is for certain, but it's tied but not tied to what you're just saying.
Okay.
So yesterday, I started watching on Paramount. The Mobland show.
Oh yeah.
With Helen Mirren and it's Tom Hardy. Yeah. But anyway, I think the lady you're talking about has a part in that show.
Really? Like Wendy Malick.
Yeah, I didn't, but like I remember a scene where the two ladies were talking, and she had an accent on, but her face looked just like her, and I was thinking, man, she looks familiar, and I couldn't quite place her. But now that you say it, I think it's the lady from Just Shoot Me that you're just talking about, just in an older version.
It doesn't
because it looked just like her. Maybe it's not her, but boy howdy, they had a similar face.
Well, let's dive into the Mobland cast and see who we're dealing with.
It would make sense.
I mean, as far as like American actresses go,
and I don't know if she's a big like. I've only seen 2 episodes, and she was in the first episode for like a half a minute, so I don't know if she's. And I think she is the way they're talking. Like I'll see her.
Tom
later.
Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Joanne Froggatt. No, that's not.
No.
I'm talking about an older woman. I guess maybe Janet McTeer. Is that her? Very side there. Janet McTeer. She kind of has a Wendy Malick-esque look about her.
No, that wasn't.
That's not her.
That wasn't her.
Whenever you hand someone else your phone, actually, you're always like, okay, what do I have open?
No, that's not right either.
Riveting radio, by the way. Folks.
I know. I was thinking maybe this Emily Barber kind of looked like, but that's not. I don't think that's it either.
Yeah, she looks a little. That could be.
That picture's not quite
right.
Yeah,
but
maybe is our guest here?
I've not seen yet.
Yeah, this is my fault if they don't make it. Yeah, this is my fault. They were supposed to be on yesterday, and I botched it, and we were supposed to come on today, but he probably is busy and forgot. So this is my fault.
Well,
I take blame for all this. The sword I follow.
It's all right. We're gonna flog him later.
Me?
Yes.
Yippee.
Well, actually.
Oh, this is bad, right?
I think maybe self-flagellation is in order.
You know what? I'll go watch. Was it Angels and Demons and brush up on that?
There you go.
Was that Angels and Demons, the one where the guy beats himself?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where the word doesn't really fit the thing that you're doing. Because to flog somebody, that sounds like you're just like tussling their hair, or, giving them like a little tug on their. No, you're beating them about the neck and back.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a horrific act, and you're just going to call it flogging.
Well, and like also in the same context, like caning versus whipping.
Yeah,
I feel like a whipping sounds way worse than a caning, but I remember that kid that got caned for chicanery in Singapore or wherever it was, and
it's the entire first verse of the song "Headline News" by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Once there was this kid who took a trip to Singapore and brought along his spray paint, and when
was that the Meat Puppets who did that song?
Oh, that's the Crash Test Dummies.
Crash Test Dummies. I'm sorry, I get those two bands mixed up.
The song is called Mm-mm.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
I get Crash Test Dummies and Meat Puppets mixed up because they both were semi-popular at the same time, and they both had a hit song. And yeah, Crash Test Dummies had the Mm-mm song. Once this was this girl who wouldn't change with the girls in the change room, and when they tried to make her.
That song is already so funny.
Birthmarks all over her. Sorry, I had to keep going.
And the first time I ever heard that song was the Weird Al version. Like, I had not heard the Crash Test Dummy. And then I heard it, and I'm like, this song is silly on its own. It doesn't need a parody, although I'm thankful for the parody.
I remember hearing the song on the radio, and my brother bought the album.
Really?
He has that. Matter of fact, he had the Meat Puppets one too. He had the Crash Test Dummies album and and not one good song other than the one song that you bought the
Which
CD
brings
for.
us to our new segment on this show, Back in My Day. See, kids, back in my day, when you enjoyed a song, you couldn't just go get the song unless it was on what we called a single. If you could find it in that way, then you could have that song and maybe one bonus song.
You should put one on one side, one on the other.
Yeah, otherwise you were on the hook for the entire album. I did that on several occasions. Although you learn to love the rest of the album.
A couple of those bands I knew. Like Great White.
Yeah.
Bought the single with the one spit, and then they gave me one other song that I honestly can't remember. And you know what? That was a smart investment.
You know who I'm like that with is the band SR-71.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Because they had one hit.
Were they enough around for singles? I feel like they were a little later in the.
They were a little bit later. They had one song that was big on a video game. It was like a surf or a skateboard video game. The song's called Right Now. And I found the album at Kids. Back in my day, we had a place called Hastings. And I found it in the bargain rack at Hastings. And I bought the album. And I have ever since then been an absolutely huge SR-71 fan. They're not together anymore, but I loved the band and what they put out.
There's one or two of their songs I enjoyed. I remember back in our mix days, I used to check out. Yeah.
But it's one of those that if you liked a song, by gosh, you bought the whole dang album.
You had no choice.
Britney Spears made a lot of money that way. Although she did have the CD single.
Right.
I remember the Oops, I Did It Again, and I want to say, like, Crazy? Maybe?
Yeah. But that's what makes certain albums so great. You know, because, like sticking with that genre and time, you look at a couple of the Motley Crue albums, like Dr. Feelgood. Like, if you go pick up the Dr. Feelgood album, like, there's like 6 or 7 Motley Crue radio hits on that album. And so that one's a bigger one.
And nowadays, it's crazy. Nowadays, you'll see artists put out, like Morgan Wallen, for example, in country radio. He put out a double album, and every single song on that album charted. Every single, it was like 36 songs.
Yeah.
And they all were on the Billboard chart at one point.
You know what?
It's crazy. Like, there aren't singles anymore.
As a fan of Metallica and been kind of always the anti of that a little bit, of course, Metallica's changed now. Back in the day, they weren't. Like, they didn't put out a music video until their 4th album.
Even then, Metallica fans are the biggest gatekeepers of them all. So name me 3 songs besides Sandman.
Well, most people now, they just... Okay. Metallica fans are broken up into... They haven't had a good album since Justice.
And that's one man's opinion.
Well, there's a lot of people.
Right.
Then there's the whole I Hate Saint Anger group.
Now, I wasn't a big fan of Stanger either, but
anyway, they're a fickle weirdo bunch. But I think every fandom band, it doesn't matter.
I gotta, you know what? I can't even say that. I was a big fan of Saint Anger because the first 6 songs on that album are instantly
the
memorable.
songs are good. How they produced it is what annoys people.
But see, I kind of like that because it's the pullback of the curtain where, like Lars was playing the garbage can and all that. I mean, that's kind of a cool, like, okay, here's a fun one. Did you know in the song, oh gosh, it's a Blink-182 song, Faith fell short this time. There's a part in that song right in the middle where the lead singer is screaming that faith fell short this. He did that. He achieved that effect by screaming into a bathroom.
Nice.
Like he was standing in a hallway and screaming into a shower, and that reverb gave it the effect that he put on the album.
Nice.
So I'm fascinated by stuff like that.
Oh, I like some of that too.
That's just cool.
But getting the Metallica thing real quick.
Yeah.
Then I guess we're gonna play an interview. I don't think our guest is gonna make it. So, but like if you would say that for albums, and this is why many people started liking Metallica for the Black Album. That's when Enter Sandman, but that's when they got radio play. That's when they, like I said, that their first 4 albums, they didn't even put out and this was the height of MTV.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even have a music video until Cliff Burton died in the 4th album because he was against them. And so the song One was their first music video ever.
Wow.
And then they hooked up with Bob Rock and they put together the Black Album.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what turned them into, and if you look at the Black Album, I'm going to say at least 40% of that album got radio play.
Yeah.
From Unforgiven to Nothing Else Matters to, of course, Enter Sandman. There was The Struggle Within, I think, was one that got some radio play. There's a couple on there that I have to go look at the album set list, but something like that.
But yeah, and a lot of those were, bangers, like you said. But for those people that are so vehemently, of the mindset that Justice was the last great or was the last good Metallica album.
Yeah.
That only gives you a span of like 3 years.
No, it gives you
like 5?
82 to 88.
Oh, is Black Album 82? I thought it was 84.
No, Black Album was 90.
Okay.
Yeah, Kill 'Em All came out in 82.
Okay.
Ride the Lightning came out in 84.
Gotcha.
Puppets came out in 86. Justice in 88. And Black Album in 1991.
Okay, so Black Album after Justice. So you're really people are only saying that they only had even a half decade of good years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had 35 since of what? Nothing?
Well, that's just it. People don't listen anymore. Like Load and Reload is when a lot of people bailed.
And I think that it also depends on when you found
That's the other thing too.
I found Metallica around Load Reload. I know. I was raised Christian, all right? I wasn't allowed.
Well, and in all fairness, yeah, Metallica was they weren't they were a big deal, but they weren't like Taylor Swift big deal like they are now.
Here's my hot take.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best Metallica album, Garage Inc. There, I said it.
None of that's originals, but it's a cool album. It's a great album.
Half of it was originals.
Well,
okay, fine. I'll go.
Actually, no, none of them are originals.
I'll go one step further.
No, none of them are originals.
My favorite Metallica. Okay, with the exception of S&M, because that is a fantastic album. I always have loved that album. My favorite Metallica song, and this is mostly for selfish reasons, is their rendition of Tuesday's Gone.
Yeah.
With what's his face? Fat Boy from Blues Traveler. Because the song is 11 minutes and 36 seconds. And when it's in a jukebox, you really feel like you're getting your money's worth. We used to go hang out at the Pizza Hut on 2nd Street after football games.
The good news is lots of Metallica songs are 7+ minutes.
That's true. That is true. But I was getting my money's worth. With that,
next time you go,
that
look
whole
for
John Popper section in the middle.
Next time you go, look for Fade to Black, Call to Cthulhu, To Live Is to Die.
No, I'm aware they have good albums.
Well,
I love.
Well, I'm just saying, all 3 of those songs are like 10-minute songs, 12-minute songs.
And this will really upset people. I enjoyed Load and Reload. I thought they were good albums too.
This didn't turn into a Metallica hour, but like when you talked about like the albums, I was not a fan of Load and Reload when they came out.
Right.
Saint Anger, same thing. I was but now, years later, as I've gotten older, Load and Reload are awesome albums. Yeah. I love them, and Saint Anger is not bad. I wish I could hear those songs in a clean version, and I have. If you go on YouTube, somebody's gone and remastered those songs, and they say, okay, if Metallica did it like they normally produce, this is what these songs sound like, and I love them way better. That being said, there are some good guitar riffs and some stuff in there that I'm like, ooh. And to be honest, their big charity organization is based off of a Saint Anger song.
Really?
Yeah, their big charity is All Within My Hands.
Ah,
that's a Saint Anger song.
That's creative. I'm glad it's not one from Load. Yeah. Ain't my... No. What kind of charity is that? We'll talk about it.
It's an animal rescue. All right, 7:30. Let's get you up to date on all the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be getting clouds and a pretty good chance of rain and thunderstorms today. We still have that monsoon flow coming into the area. Showers and thunderstorms possible till about midnight tonight, then just cloudy. We'll be in the mid-60s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms again on Thursday with our high in the mid-80s. Clearing up on Thursday night. Good news for our independent low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thanks, Steve. Currently 68 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 22%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 60% chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms here today. Cloudy and a high of 79, so remaining cool. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They are saying expect less than a tenth of an inch of rain unless we get a thunderstorm rolling through the area. Tonight, we are looking at a 60% chance of rain. Looks like till about midnight, and even after midnight as well. Cloudy with an overnight low of 67. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain possible overnight tonight. Thursday, another day with good chances of rain, but our last day with good chances of rain. So hopefully... it is day one of the UFO Festival on Thursday, but hopefully keeps it cool, keeps everything all right. But there is a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday, mostly cloudy and 82 otherwise, with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain possible unless we get a thunderstorm. Thursday night, a 40% chance of rain before midnight. Hopefully that does not impact the drone show. Mostly cloudy. That will be at 9 p.m. on Thursday. With overnight low of 66, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for your Independence Day, Friday, sunny, 94, temps jump to. South winds 5 to 10. That night, clear skies, overnight low of 69 degrees. Sunny and high of 100 on Saturday. And then Sunday, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, partly cloudy and 94. All right, it is 32 minutes after 7. We're going to take a 3-minute break here. I'll come back on the other side. We'll replay an interview here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
If you want to experience the best Beatles tribute ever, grab some tickets and twist and shout with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute, on July 12th at the Spencer Theater. This loving tribute to the Beatles has amazed audiences in countries around the world. Get your tickets today at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. We now carry Mayo Furniture. Not only is it proudly built in the U.S., but there are hundreds of custom options to choose from, including fabrics, top-grade leathers, nail head trim, and feet. The quality and construction stands apart from other brands in the industry, ensuring your satisfaction for years to come. Turn your living room into a reflection of your refined taste. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
Hi, I'm Chef Anthony Noble at the Valley Cafe located at 801 West Brasher in Roswell. We want to welcome you for dinner 5 to 8 p.m. weekdays, except Wednesday we close at 2 p.m. If you haven't tried our food yet, I hope you come try one of our dinner entrees, pasta, soups, salads, burgers, and sandwiches, and our weekly specials as well. Let me make you great dinner. Visit the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell.
Can't see us in person? Find our full menu on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
This just in, Roswell Hyundai is giving you an explosive chance to win. Yup, Roswell Hyundai is giving away a massive $300 fireworks package from Amy's Fireworks this Thursday at noon sharp. Stop by Roswell Hyundai and register now. While you're there, check out the slashed prices across the lot, with many vehicles just $222 a month, plus 0% for up to 60 months on 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. No payments for 90 days and up to $2,000 for your trade. Blowout savings and explosive prizes are waiting for you at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd. Saddle up for a celebration of the bounty of Lee County during the 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. with nonstop fun for the whole family, including an arts and crafts showcase, the carnival, concerts, Extreme Bulls event, and PRCA rodeos, the Pioneer Iron Chef contest, as well as the livestock shows, mutton bustin', fiddlers contest, and junior livestock sale, the Yucca building exhibits, plus 4-H and open youth, the flower show, farm and garden, creative arts, the special rodeo, commercial vendors, and of course, the best fair food around. The concert series begins Friday, August 1st with the Hispanic Heritage Celebration and continues nightly Tuesday, August 5th through Saturday, August 9th. Visit LeeCountyFair.net for more exciting news and updates. The 89th Annual Lee County Fair and PRCA Rodeo, August 1st through the 9th at the Lee County Fairgrounds in Lovington. Come celebrate the bounty of Lee County. We'll see you at the fair.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia firefighters and police officers joined in on Monday to help with painting of the mural near Eagle Draw. Anyone can help create the mural. A sign welcomes people to help create the artwork. The National Championship Air Races recently completed its first ever pylon racing seminar at its new home in Roswell. The 4-day training event brought together race officials, volunteers, and pilots preparing to compete in the upcoming races. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to take place in September. PRS is a long-standing requirement for pilots who are new to the event or have not raced in the past 3 years. And a few new details in a fatal train incident on Saturday near Alamogordo. Railroad officials said a trespasser was struck and killed by the train near Eddy Drive and Mesa Verde Ranch Road. Kristen South, Senior Director of Corporate Communications with Union Pacific, said the unnamed man was walking along the tracks when he was struck. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 7:37. So we're going to go ahead and replay for you here our interview we had back on the 25th with the commanders for American Legion Post 28, Rebecca Kobos, and for VFW Post 1218 Bohr, Jason Burke. They're having a big veterans shindig at the American Legion Post 28 on the 5th, Saturday. They want to invite veterans and everyone to come on out to that. So we're going to play that interview for you now. Here it is. Enjoy. Back to the morning show here.
I mean, it took me a year to remember what post I
yeah, like 90210. What is it again? But this is pretty cool. I love, of course, to be honest, we're pretty blessed here in Roswell. We have a lot of great veteran organizations. We have, of course, the 2 American Legion posts, VFW posts, Chavez County Veterans, and a few other groups I'm missing there. But we have a lot of great veteran representation here in town, and this is kind of neat because you guys are kind of saying, hey, let's we got the 4th of July weekend coming up here. UFO festivals, a lot going on with that stuff.
Right.
Hey, while all that's going on, let's have our own little shindig, at the American Legion post here and have a little 4th of July celebration for ourselves here.
I know. We're excited. We want to really invite all the veterans and their families out for hamburgers, hot dogs.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, yeah, brats,
the 4th of July staple.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And then just some good old camaraderie, building those relationships between all the veterans organizations.
Absolutely.
Especially since some of those disasters have happened, even we're getting more rain right now. So looking for some of those things that might be coming up that our veterans in our local community might need.
Absolutely.
Some of those local resources, and we can kind of put things together to help each other out and help our veterans.
That's something that I think a lot of people don't realize is there is kind of I don't know if underground network's the right word, but just kind of a network where say a veteran comes into town and say there's an issue, their car breaks down or whatever, they need a place to stay for the night or they need some money to get their car fixed or whatever it is. Every time that happens, the VFW, American Legion Post, we all kind of daisy chain in a phone thing and saying, hey, can we help this way or that? And that's been going on as long as I can remember here. Right. And so we kind of want to get a little bit more, I guess, say formalization of some of that stuff and do some of that where we can get more resources, more, I know there's some other entities within the county and the community here that's kind of working and trying to get, veteran issues worked on and things like that. And this is all kind of more of all that. And it seems like our VFW and our American Legions have been trying to kind of fill the voids in those creamy, like when there's the gaps missing there. That's when our veterans organizations are coming in and saying, hey, we can help here. We can kind of mobilize quick too, where, VFW or American Legion post, hey, can we get $100 real quick to get this? And boom, boom.
Right.
That's something that I guess our organizations are able to and good at, and we want to be able to promote that more and utilize that better too.
Sure.
So.
Absolutely. When so I was recently up at a state conference, a few weeks ago, and there was actually a representative from the American Legion there at the VFW conference. That's one of the things that he spoke on was the importance of like an intra-organizational, activities and cooperation, because it's very important. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, Chaves County's Veterans Association, we all have one common goal That's to take care of veterans, family members, and of course our communities.
Absolutely.
But yet each one has little niches too as well that we specialize in.
Sure.
So, it's kind of it's kind of nice to see it weave together.
Absolutely.
Like you said.
And then kind of between the groups, the two American Legion posts, our VFW, the other ones here, we kind of cover many broad bases here. One area's, working with kids. One's over here working with, other veterans things or different groups. And that's kind of how we work here. But events like what we're putting together here for 4th of July is kind of what else can we do? Who else can we bring into the fold? Who else is in the need? Who else can offer these supports? And obviously, come to the picnic. And as a veteran, I'm sure the VFW and American Legion we're all looking for more members to be a part of it. And requirements are slightly different for the two different organizations here. And of course, you guys will be happy to talk to everybody that wants to talk to anything about that.
And we're also collaborating with Chaves County Veterans Association. The Roswell Honor Guard will actually be posting our colors, so they'll be associated as well as Post 61 American Legion.
Yeah, American Legion Post 61 as well too.
We just really wanted to make sure to collaborate all of these veterans organizations and get all these resources out to our community members, especially our veterans who are out there and who may need these services.
Well, and that's just it. It's you have so many different parts of this community where, we have shut-ins and homeless folks, and there's a lot of them that are veterans. And
we still have a lot of gaps, Mike. We do, but I think collaboratively we can work together to really fill those gaps, especially here in the Roswell area.
Absolutely.
Especially, even together with veterans. I sit on that board as well. We're bringing awareness for suicide prevention with veterans, amongst veterans and their communities. So all of those entities really are going to play a really, good part with veterans and having a better quality of life.
Absolutely. And it's kind of interesting too, and this is, something that all of our veteran organizations are dealing with is the veteran is getting younger. If that
that is true.
Like we keep staying the same age and they keep getting younger. I don't know what's going on here, but
that's true.
But
I see what you did there. I saw that movie too.
But and so we have to change our ideologies on how we address and talk to veterans and things, because it's a lot of us, we think the Vietnam era veterans and those and they have a mindset that's different than your Afghanistan and Gulf War veterans. They just their backgrounds are different. They're younger. They grew up different, raised different experiences, and what entertains them, what moves them, what motivates them is different in some aspects.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's where we as veteran organizations are evolving too. And I think this is all part of that too, where, yes, if you think of American Legion or VFW as the place with the bar, the hangout, and sure, there's some of that, but now it's evolving to, younger things, and you're seeing more different family-oriented things happening in some of the posts.
Well, and I think one thing that I know we see with American Legion and other national organizations, veterans organizations, is that we do lose some of those foundational premises that why we built these. We always have lobbyists out there fighting for our rights with the American Legion and VFW. That's part of where your membership dues go.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times, even just being a member, not an active member, or being a member and paying your dues, some of those rights and those benefits are being fought for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, and it's not just the dues too. The dues help. That's what funds everything, but it's also membership numbers as well. Like Rebecca just said, that we've got people who go to Washington, they go to Santa Fe, and they tell our lawmakers, hey, this is what our veterans need.
And it's also helpful when they say, hey, my organization, it's 100,000 or 100 million constituents, or whatever that number is.
As long as we have and I know the VFW, as long as we have 1 million members nationally, then that comrade's voice is amplified 1 million times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that membership really, really helps. They see it's just like signing a petition.
Absolutely.
Is really what you're doing when you join one of these
organizations. Yeah, VFW, obviously American Legion, they were created by Congress, so they kind of have to listen to them.
One would think.
But VFW has that almost equal foothold in getting in front of the Congress and getting and both organizations on a national level is definitely. I mean, I'm not trying to say VA benefits and VA all that is where it needs to be.
Absolutely not.
But I will tell you this. It is light years better today than it was 20 years ago.
It is better, but it still requires a lot of improvement. New Mexico specifically. Last time I looked, I don't know what it is now, so I can't promise. But last time I looked, we were like 47th in the nation for VA healthcare, and it's.
I'd be curious to see the number of percentage of veteran representation in the state versus the. Like you're saying, we're like number 47 out of 50.
New Mexico has a very high population.
I would say we're probably
veterans.
higher in that number as percentage of veterans that are residents.
It's a retirement state. A lot of people come here to retire. And, New Mexico has, population-wise, per capita, New Mexico is one of the highest.
Yeah.
But yet we have one of the worst VA
and least amount of resources.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I think, just having New Mexico as rural, different areas, we don't have metropolitan areas like Texas and Arizona.
And unfortunately, that's where the hospitals, that's where the resources are.
We have a lot of veteran populations in rural areas. So that's where we need to get those resources, mobile veteran VA units, things like that coming out.
Which, since we're talking, quick plug, VA Transport, another great organization that they basically take veterans from anywhere here in town or anywhere in southeast New Mexico to their doctor's appointments. It could be in Albuquerque, Lubbock, or whatever. And I know that organization could always use more volunteers, drivers, and financially right now I think they're doing pretty good. They got some good support with the vans and with the maintenance.
But
what they really need is volunteers, folks that
I've
can
seen
drive
some billboards
people
around town, for them.
Yeah, well, I know there's like a state initiative now where they're trying to. I've seen. Like when I was on vacation here, we were driving up by Albuquerque area, and I was seeing the billboards for, if you're a veteran and you need rides to medical things statewide, call this number. And I'm going to take a stab. Our Veterans Transport's pipelined into that network system.
They are. They're a little bit separate because they don't take any state or federal funding.
Gotcha.
However, they are sitting pretty healthy and, they are always welcome to take any of our veterans here in the local or surrounding areas to any of their appointments.
So if you need appointments or if you'd like to volunteer, please reach out to them. Matter of fact, come to our shindig here, which we need to talk a little bit more about.
Yes.
But
one of our members is, or a few of our members are drivers and Magle drivers.
So of ours, we got one or two in our that posted are drivers as well too. So, but let's talk a little bit about the event coming up here 4th of July weekend. Now that's going to be the 6th.
The 5th. On
Saturday.
That.
So everyone go light your fireworks and have fun Friday, and then join us at the American Legion Post facility there on Montana.
1620 North
1620.
Montana.
It's right there, but up the street or down the street, depending on your perspective, from the Joy Center there, and
right next to the baseball fields. Basically.
Yeah, can't miss it. Matter of fact, if you're out at Church on the Move's fireworks show at Cielo Grande, is right around the corner from there.
Watched it from my backyard.
Oh, that was amazing. We worked as a radio station, and we were right there. And those drones, it's pretty impressive. So.
We had a pretty good parking lot full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when they were shooting fireworks off the drones. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They had the Statue of Liberty, and then the torches just, that was pretty cool. Anyway, sorry, kid with,
and we're going to allow people to bring, of course, fireworks. We have a big parking lot that we can do fireworks in. If you have anything left over from the 4th, we really want to celebrate.
Open field out there too.
Our nation's independence and share it with all our friends and comrades.
Absolutely, and of course, come bring your family and come. It's a family event. We're just coming out here and cooking out and celebrating America, and love to have some people get together. And like I said, veterans, families, come on down. It's always, anytime you get a bunch of veterans together, you shoot a lot of similar dirt.
Crazy,
stories happen.
Things get a little sideways once in a while. You get a bunch of veterans together.
Stories get bigger. I'm
telling you, right? Get bigger, and new stories are often made.
Sure, if we're gonna make it in the building.
Yep. But
colors will be posted at 6:00 p.m. And we'll get the festivities started.
Yeah.
And
do they need to
welcome.
RSVP or anything, or just
no?
Come
on
out.
Come out.
Come
Bring
out.
your families.
Bring the
family
family.
event.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of different veterans organizations information out there for veterans if they just want to pop in and grab some of that. That'll be great.
Will the bar and everything be open for folks
Yes,
if they
sir.
want to have a beverage or two?
Yes.
And kick back. Yeah,
Non-alcoholic, alcoholic beverages.
Gotcha.
We want to support those who are.
We
Recovery
got your soda and water and teas and all that good stuff.
Absolutely, and then we also have those other drinks.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Well, now it's this is, I guess this is a younger thing where now they do like the mocktails, and it looks
The
like
mocktails, yes.
like everything is there except the alcohol part.
A mocktail, is that what they call it now?
Yeah, they call it mocktail.
Because it used to be like a virgin whatever, like a virgin pina colada or
Yeah,
something.
now it's mocktail.
Now it's a mocktail. Okay. Didn't know that. I'm behind
with the pinky.
I'm trying.
What time does everything start there on the 5th?
6:00
6 p.m. So get out there, get you good spot and stuff. About 6, we'll do the opening ceremonies there, the presentation of the colors, and then we'll roll into the eating and celebrating and just hanging out and socializing.
We're also going to be doing some recruiting too. We'll be recruiting and.
We have some good giveaways too. Both organizations have some giveaways that you can enter in for a drawing to win. So
you could walk away with a few door prizes.
Yeah, we're doing some raffles and
some swag.
And I know if you're interested in joining one of the organizations, I know for American Legion to be as a Legionnaire, pretty much if you served honorably in the military any time after Pearl Harbor, you're pretty much eligible to be a Legionnaire. I know with VFW you have to have certain windows of time of service or served in a combat zone.
Basically, in a nutshell, for the veterans of foreign wars, if you've ever served in a combat zone, received hazard fire pay, or South Korean service.
Gotcha.
That's in a nutshell.
To be honest, just about anybody who's been in the military the last 20 years is probably
just
qualified.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few months?
Like mine was Kosovo. That's Kosovo, where I got all my stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because all three of us right now, we're all dual members of Legion and VFW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's we just had busy time of service just a lot going on here, and of course, obviously for our wartime veterans, Vietnam, Korean, World War II. If we don't have many of them left,
we've got 2 at our post.
There's still a few floating around, but not too many.
We recruited 2 World War II veterans just a few months ago.
At the Veteran Symposium.
At the Veteran Symposium, yeah.
And of course, while we're talking veteran stuff, recap. I know here a couple of weeks ago, back in June here. Well, technically it's still June, right? But earlier in June, around Flag Day weekend here, we had another joint flag retirement ceremony out at Post 28. I did see pictures and things. I was out of town that weekend, but
we did. It was a very successful event.
It was good.
A lot of my executive board members really helped out. My first vice, second vice, finance officers. We all really just came together. Of course, VFW was there and able to support us, and it was a really nice event. Roswell Fire Department was out there just to make sure
keep us out of trouble. Yeah, veterans with fire together. We need lots of supervision.
Exactly.
Pretty big.
That's
fire.
why there wasn't any alcohol available.
That's right.
Not until afterwards. But we had to keep that bar closed.
Yeah. But if you missed that, I invite you the next time we do, and we'll announce on the radio and talk about that. But I'd love to invite families to come and see. If you've never seen a flag retirement ceremony, the And that's it. They go by the book on the proper, according to flag etiquette, on how to retire a flag, and they do it, stripe by stripe, and of course, a lot of times folks will cut the stars out, and they'll keep those as keepsakes for maybe in honor of their family member that's a veteran or themselves, or many people have different reasons for having them, and we usually give those out as like a personal token, or if you'd like one and then whatever's left over goes into the fire with the rest of the flag there. But and I know.
And as always, American Legion 28 always receives unserviceable flags.
Yeah, if you've got flags that are no longer serviceable, you can drop them off at the post 28 there. I know there's some scout troops, I think, that take them too. And either way, they all kind of congregate to the same place, and then we retire them all together here. So,
and that was, like Rebecca said, that was another joint function that we took part in, and it's
more of those.
Absolutely. It gives it a little bit more ceremony, makes it a little bit more special, and when you get all those organizations together.
Absolutely. So, quick recap here. Come join us July 4th weekend on July 5th at American Legion Post 28 there on Montana, 1620 Montana. 6 p.m.'s when the event starts. We'll start with the honor guard, the color guard, doing presentation of colors. They're straight up at 1800, 6 o'clock, and then after that we'll have some cookout and celebrate and chit chat and congregate. Real quick, while I got you, any VFW events we got on the horizon we want to put on people's radar?
As of right now, not yet. We are gonna plan some.
I know you just had a dine to donate over at the Texas Roadhouse.
Actually, dine to donate. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that. So that's actually tomorrow.
Okay, that is tomorrow. I was thinking it was coming
dine
up
to
there.
donate is tomorrow.
Very good.
From 3 to 10. You just
that would be
Wednesday.
as you're hearing this.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. 10% of your order, 10% of the total of your order gets donated to the VFW here.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a great deal.
Customers have to let their servers know if
they're going to donate? Usually you have to bring the flyer or bring it on your phone or a paper copy, and it works with carry out too. So
no, it actually doesn't.
Oh, it does not.
Yeah, no,
okay.
They don't do carry out.
Okay, I think they used to, and I guess they stopped doing that. But so when you come in to bring that flyer with you or put it on your phone there.
And also, if you're at Texas Roadhouse and you want more information about the VFW, that very first booth has some QR codes for the VFW on it.
Scan.
Now, obviously, if somebody's sitting there enjoying their dinner, don't hang your phone over the. But
excuse me.
I got to scan this. Sorry.
Smile. I'm going to take a picture.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And of course, and if you can't make it out here on Wednesday, then join us here on the 5th. At the American Legion Post 28, and we can get you all that information.
And if you're qualified to join the VFW, or if you don't know if you're qualified, you can still. We meet the last Thursday of every month. At Grace Community Church at 7 o'clock. So we will actually be having a meeting this week as well.
If you happen to want to come and know if you're interested, just bring a copy of DD 214 with you.
DD-214
and tell you real quick if you're eligible or not.
Most definitely. And also too, I want to congratulate Mac Dyer, our outgoing post commander. He was just elected as state senior vice commander.
Oh, congratulations!
So,
It means more gas receipts and more mileage as you got to hit a bunch of posts across the state now. So.
He's going to be doing some traveling.
Yeah, absolutely. Rebecca, for Post 28, is any events, anything we want to, or I know, of course, your facility is available for parties and quinceañeras and rentals as well, too, for public and private events and things. So.
And, of course, our Peanuts canteen is open usually from 4 o'clock in the evening until close.
Okay.
So just depending on customers who come in, if the bar is full, then they stay open until closing. Otherwise, we will have our general membership meeting on July 7th at 6 o'clock p.m. So anyone is welcome to come to see what we're about as well.
Yeah, and same facility you'll join us at here on the 5th.
Yes, at 1620 North Montana.
Absolutely. So that is, again, 6 p.m. on July 5th. Come celebrate the 4th with a bunch of veterans. And we're going to have representation from all American Legion, VFW, and everybody then that wants to come. Come on down and have some fun.
It's going to be a party.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Good deal.
All right.
Well, thank you, guys.
At 1620 North Montana.
Absolutely. So that is, again, 6 p.m. on July 5th. Come celebrate the 4th with a bunch of veterans. And we're going to have representation from all American Legion, VFW, and everybody and that wants to come
Yeah.
on down and have some fun.
There's going to be a party.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Good deal.
All right.
Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And we're closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. Doug Weiser with the Walker Aviation Museum will join us, give us an update on what they've got going on as they're gearing up for UFO weekend as well. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. Good morning, everybody.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Ahead of tomorrow's government update on the job market, ADP is chiming in. The payroll processor says 33,000 private sector jobs were lost last month. That stands in sharp contrast to what economists had been expecting. After squeaking through the Senate by a paper-thin margin, President Trump's spending and tax cut bill has been sent to the House for a final congressional workover, and the president is pleased.
The bill passed, and I think it's going to do very well in the House. We'll see how that works out, but looks like it's ahead of schedule. See what happens. Happy about it.
North Carolina Republican Congresswoman Virginia Fox chairs the House Rules Committee.
From delivering historic tax relief to reigniting our economic engine, creating massive investments in border security, to capturing generational savings and much more, H.R. 1 is the embodiment of the America First agenda.
And Mr. Trump hopes to be able to sign the bill on Independence Day. The Wisconsin Supreme Court's liberal majority striking down the state's 176-year-old abortion ban. The University of Pennsylvania stripping Leah Thomas of the titles he won when competing against female athletes.
The college says it also will apologize to female athletes it says were disadvantaged by Thomas's participation on the women's swimming team. The moves were part of a resolution of a federal civil rights case that found the school violated the rights of female athletes. Thomas, a transgender swimmer who last competed for the Ivy League school in Philadelphia in 2022, was the first openly transgender athlete to win a Division I women's title. Keith Peters, Washington.
Tesla sales down sharply in the second quarter amid growing competition in the EV marketplace. On Wall Street, the Dow down 69 points, NASDAQ up 58. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That train hasn't already left the station, but Britain's royal train soon will, and for the last time.
King Charles III has accepted it's time to decommission the train, whose history dates back to Queen Victoria, because it costs too much to operate and would have needed a significant upgrade for more advanced rail systems. The train, actually a suite of 9 rail cars that can be hitched to commercial locomotives, will be decommissioned sometime before the current maintenance contract expires in 2027. That will bring to an end a tradition that dates back to 1869, when Queen Victoria commissioned a pair of special coaches to accommodate her travels around the country. Charles Tillertasma, London.
Russia's ramped up military offensives on 2 fronts in Ukraine. The renewed fighting has scattered Kiev's precious reserve troops while threatening to expand the fighting to a 6th Ukrainian region. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's a new home for the FBI, and it's just down the street.
The new FBI building will be in Washington, D.C., not far from the current J. Edgar Hoover building. The Bureau and the U.S. General Services Administration selected the Ronald Reagan building as the new location. It was home to the U.S. Agency for International Development until this year, when the Trump administration consolidated USAID into the State Department and allowed Customs and Border Protection to take over the building's lease. The Hoover Building, in use since 1975, had long been plagued by structural problems. Bill Alexander, Washington.
Hurricane Flossie, a powerful Category 3 storm churning off the Pacific coast of Mexico. Maximum sustained winds have been clocked at 185 miles per hour. Flossie's outer bands have been dumping a lot of rain across several Mexican states, although Flossie's center is expected to stay offshore. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Drippy Doos.
It is a porn.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Cats and or dogs.
Yes. I just thought of the ghost. Cats and dogs living together. Yeah.
Pandemonium.
But yeah, it is. We're getting some rain.
I enjoy it.
Means resupplying Lake Home Depot and every low-lying intersection. And
it's one of those things, and again, it's like being an explorer back in the day. You got to figure out where the high ground is in Roswell. You got to stay on the high ground. I literally and I think I mentioned this last week too. My daughter shouldn't know what high ground is, but I was saying in the car when we were driving through the river last week, I'm like, we just got to make it to high ground. If we can just make it to high ground, we're going to be okay. And
well,
we
that's
were
where
fine
she got it.
once we made it to high ground.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be the one to tell you this, but you should turn your wife on.
Ah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just knew I looked over and I could see she had a hankering to
sorry,
chit chat.
I was processing the high ground.
Yes. Well, water flows down. Like I even noticed it yesterday. I was like, if I stay on the left, I know you're not supposed to occupy the left lane, but the left lane was the one that wasn't
It's
flooded.
higher, yeah. The water doesn't stand down there.
It's great. I understand that. But this is why I have a Jeep.
Yeah, that's fair.
I stay in the right lane.
Yeah. Your vehicle is essentially high ground.
It's fun.
My concern is there's going to be flooding pretty soon. The way it's coming down.
Well,
it doesn't stop.
Well, hopefully it doesn't. Don't put that mojo out there. Hopefully it doesn't.
Ground's saturated.
But yeah, we got more of this today. But they said less than a tenth is what the weather guys, the weather service said. So maybe this pouring will be short-lived and it'll taper off here in a bit. Knocking on wood. That's what that is.
Yeah, we're just getting it all out of the way now so that we can have a dry weekend.
Exactly. So by Friday, you can festival it up and be good to go for that. I ain't going to lie. Saturday, y'all going to be like, man, I wish it was Tuesday again.
Right.
Because it's supposed to be like 100 on Saturday.
And it's still going to be post-muggy because of all the wetness.
Correctamundo.
Yucky.
So, I know this is messing with your hair and everything's wet, but at least you're not hot.
I'm having a surprisingly good hair day, as are you, actually.
Me too?
Yeah.
Actually, I need to stubble. I've been lazy. I haven't
got
done
a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, everywhere.
It's all over. I'm a man that likes a nice all-over shadow.
I was just too lazy. But but yeah, it is pouring right now. But yeah, like I said, I think we're okay because this is supposed to. We're having another day of this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like 50% chance.
Right.
It's a little less. But yeah, Friday, Independence Day. Yeah, it's no talk of rain nor Saturday, and then Sunday we got like a 20%.
So a good chance to hopefully, like most good storm systems, they separate long enough to let us have an event.
Yeah.
And then they come back at us. Kind of like the drone show a couple weeks ago. Just cleared up just enough to give some space for the show, and then it came right back in.
Hopefully it does that again on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the drone show as part of the UFO Festival will be tomorrow night. Hello. At 9 p.m.
Is it tomorrow night or is it Friday night?
Thursday night.
Okay, so it is tomorrow night.
It is tomorrow night.
I'll be darned. I'll be doggoned. I saw something that I'm not sure is real. Like, it's one of those situations where it might be AI. Because I've been getting in my algorithm, in my feed, these random fireworks videos. 'Tis the season.
Right.
And this one I got yesterday, the firework goes up and then it goes into a spiral.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure what extra propulsion was on this rocket to shoot it into a spiral.
It's a heat-seeking firework.
Because when it lit up, and I'll try to see if I can find the video. When it lit up, it was this like seashell-looking spiral of sparks, and it was. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a firework go up and then around. Like, I don't even know physically how that's possible.
Too bad there wasn't two more.
I know.
Because then you could have three seashells.
Could have the three seashells. One could have successfully wiped one's keister with what was happening in the sky. I saw another one, this thing, and they're getting pretty severe with their aerial displays available to the public now. Because this rocket shoots up, and while it's going up, it's going like shooting like extra propulsion.
Right.
And then it starts on a descent, and something else like sparks on it, and so it's shooting straight down into this person's house.
Ooh.
And it like slams into their roof and explodes the whole thing.
I don't think I'm supposed to do that.
They're not supposed to do that.
I don't think that's bad.
But I don't know what they're putting on. Like,
I'm going to take a stab that firework had warning written on that label.
Not caution. Right.
It might also said property of U.S. government, but that might be another debate for another day.
You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and only sell me fireworks labeled caution.
Yeah, I don't know what the rule is here. I know that's what it is in Albuquerque because I hear it on the news.
I got to imagine it's something pretty close to that.
Yeah, I've never heard that descriptor for like firework. If it says caution, you're good. If it says warning, nah.
Yeah.
That's Albuquerque's rule.
I want to play that scene, but I don't know if it's clean. But there are, this is fun to know, there are whistling bungholes available.
Oh.
Commercially.
Thank goodness.
So get your hands on some before they're gone. Back in my day, kids, there was two big brands of fireworks. There was TNT and there was Black Cat. Now, I know those two still exist, but it's a saturation now.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a whole bunch of different
everybody's getting in the game.
Companies are making them.
Well, and I imagine there was probably a lot more back then too, just not
there's just the ones that
prevalent
were available to us.
Or maybe in the parts or there was kind of like if you ever like studied Hershey's history, they were actually feeding chocolate to like all the other companies for a while there. It could have been something like that, where like everybody's feeding a Black Cat or whatever.
Well, if you ever have like are the kind of person that buys generics, it's kind of a known fact in the industry that some of the bigger manufacturers will send either like product that wasn't up to their standard or it was misshapen or something. They'll actually package that as a generic of a product and send it to that company.
Yeah, I know, like
Malto-Meal, for example.
Okay, and I know like when you buy like sodas, like your Sam's Choice, where they're just Coca-Cola repackaged.
In a lot of cases, yeah.
Or Pepsi or whoever does them. Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, somebody did a blind taste test and they figured out that the Mountain Lightning from Walmart is better than Mountain Dew.
Ooh.
Yeah, it beat Mountain Dew in a taste test.
That's funny.
Right?
That's extreme.
We're doing you better than you're doing you.
That's so extreme. Sorry. I got lumped in. Ever since Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, I associate Mountain Dew with those guys.
Just be careful if you do the do, because your do might do something you weren't expecting. As I learned earlier this week.
I told you I didn't drink Mountain Dew for a good 20 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was a kid, like young, I mean, like 6, like I was young. And I remember I was left home for like a New Year's thing. And I was young.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. We'll go 7. My parents weren't that diabolical.
Just leave something good on the TV and we can go wherever we need to.
And they literally left me like a large pizza and a 6-pack of Mountain Dew.
Oh my gosh.
And I consumed the entire 6-pack and as much of that pizza, and I barfed for hours. And for 20, I was a grown adult before I had another Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, it's never a good choice. I had one. I've been cat sitting for a friend while they're out of town, and my friend's husband, that's all he drinks is Mountain Dew. So that's all that was in the house. So I'm like, fine, I'll have one of these.
Right.
Halfway through, I have a stomach ache. It was hot outside, and it wasn't quenching my thirst. I don't know what I was doing, but being the completionist that I am, I had to finish the bottle.
Yeah. And for a hot minute, and then we're going to start the hour. Yep. Remember when Surge was out in the 90s?
Do I remember when? Dude, I was Surge's #1 customer.
In my head, and I know why, but I always associated Surge with Beavis and Butthead.
Really?
Because to me, the packaging on Surge looked like Mike Judge designed it.
It did kind of have that Nickelodeon-esque.
Like it looked like some Beavis and Butthead would be walking around Highland High drinking.
This is one of those core memories for me. I had a friend when I lived in Rio Rancho named Seth. Me and Seth, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, we would walk up the 528 Arroyo Hill that I've talked about before, that big desert. We'd walk up that hill, and at the very top of that hill was an Allsups, and behind the Allsups was a Target. We would go to Target, and I would get a liter of Surge and one of those movie theater sized boxes of Gobstoppers. This was like every weekend for us.
Wow.
And then we just go hang out in the desert, and I'd pop Gobstoppers and drink Surge.
Surge and Gobstoppers in the desert.
That was a big, big moment in my life.
I saw colors, man.
That's right. That was literally us sneaking away and doing bad stuff. It was us eating Gobstoppers and drinking Surge, feeling all gnarly.
I went on a journey with a big grown.
3 days later, I woke up under a
took me to Flavortown.
Turns out the adventure was never ending either, too.
And then that scene from the Beavis and Butthead Do America in the desert where they meet their dads. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I met my dad. He went out for smokes, but he came back.
That's right. He came back. and he ate some pie.
He screwed up leaving.
All right, let's get the hour going. Doug Weiser with the Walker Aviation Museum is going to join us here in just a bit. Give us an update on, of course, UFO Festival this weekend. Kind of a busy weekend for them as well. So we'll chit-chat with Doug. We'll get you updated with the newses and all that good stuff and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, your weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be getting clouds and a pretty good chance of rain and thunderstorms today. We still have that monsoon flow coming into the area. Showers and thunderstorms possible till about midnight tonight, then just cloudy. We'll be in the mid-60s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms again on Thursday with our high in the mid-80s. Clearing up on Thursday night. Good news for our Independence Day, sunny and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 67 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 23%. Winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. We are looking at a 60% chance, as it's raining, of more rain today. They're saying, and this is pretty much all day, mostly cloudy. 79 for a high today with southeast winds 5 to 10. They're saying we're supposed to get less than a tenth of an inch of rain unless we get a thunderstorm. We had a good little rain there. I don't know what people are measuring on it, but pretty good. Tonight, we're looking at a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Looking like cloudy with an overnight low of 67. Southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying we could get between a tenth and a quarter of inch of rain this evening and overnight. For Thursday, we are looking at a 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, 82 for a high tomorrow. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying we could see a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain tomorrow unless we get a thunderstorm. That'll tick those numbers up. 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday night, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 66. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then the rain goes away and the sun comes out, sunny and warm, high of 94 for your Independence Day on Friday with south winds 5 to 10. Saturday, sunny and a high of 100 expected. And then there's a 20% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms Sunday, partly cloudy and 94 otherwise there. All right, 8:20, we're going to take a 2.5-minute break. And then Doug Weiser will join us here from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away.
Lights, camera, action. Get superhero savings during our summer blockbuster sales event going on right now at Roswell Ford. Hey Roswell, you don't need to be a hero to pay zero. Drive home a new Ford with zero down and zero payments this summer. Plus, at Roswell Ford, everyone gets employee pricing. You heard right. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Stuck in your loan or lease and want out early? Roswell Ford can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Don't let the credit villains keep you from driving your dream car. At Roswell Ford, getting approved is a possible mission, so you can pay what we pay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the best car and get massive American-made savings and the best car buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balances refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Galacticon 2025 is coming to downtown Roswell, across from the UFO Museum, July 3rd through the 6th.
Many files are still classified, but here's what we know so far.
Cosplay, karaoke, Frank Renda and his working robots, local authors, speakers, and the amazing vendor hall. And July 3rd, it's the electrifying drone show. And be on the lookout for the UFO car.
More classified information can be found at RoswellGalacticon.com.
Presented by the City of Roswell, the Roswell Daily Record, and paid for in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Emerging fund managers and venture capital companies. Streamline your investment strategy with the state of New Mexico's SSBCI program. The SSBCI offers free expert support to help you access opportunities and drive small business growth. We'll help you navigate funding requirements, legal considerations, accounting, and more. Get started today at edd.newmexico.gov. That's edd.newmexico.gov. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, I guess, president of the board, right?
President of the board,
you're the head dude in charge of the board here at the Walker Aviation Museum. Doug Weiser is back in studio with us this morning. Morning, Doug.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Appreciate the rework here. That was my fault. I did dumb things.
Oh, no problem. Got to be flexible these days.
But, of course, good news, bad news is the museum was open, and then they did some more renovations and had to shut you down again. But we think everything will be good to maybe open up during UFO Festival this
Correct.
year.
And we're hoping. Keep our
Cross
fingers.
Do your maintenance dance. I know they have rain dances. We don't need those, but a maintenance dance would be handy right now.
Yeah, a feather duster. We got to get in there and get everything dusted. But somebody was working on that the other day, and hopefully we're good to go for if not today, tomorrow.
Good.
we're trying to get the final word from Bobby, who does a wonderful job out there on the airport. And she's going to give us a word.
She'll give you the green flag to go and do this.
Yeah, the thumbs up. So,
and I would hope, and this is because with the UFO Festival in town this weekend, obviously we're getting a huge influx of folks coming to visit. But if we the locals, we do our things and do all this. But if you've got friends and family coming into town, yes, take them to the UFO museum and all the fun there. But half the other side of it is all down at the Walker Aviation Museum, and so they can see the military, see where this big museum is. This was the base back in 1947, and you can see, you could kind of see some of that history too.
It is, and I was thinking about this, and I think about this all the time, that if it wasn't for the Roswell Air Base and Walker in 1948, it was changed to Walker Airfield.
Yes,
but
when the Air Force became the Air Force instead of part of the Army.
I mean, it's 80 acres out there because of what we had, and spawned, UFO spawned. That's why we got the air races.
Absolutely,
is all the space that we have out there. Beautiful, wild blue yonder, as they call it.
And it's the airport itself is unique in that, like some of those runways out there. Like I don't know all the details, but I know there's a certain. They're huge runways. First off, some of the largest.
They accommodated B-52s.
Yeah, they're some of the largest in the country that we're sitting right here in. Because they literally had the biggest bombers that known to man fly off.
We were a SAC base, what they call a SAC base.
But what I've been told, like I guess even like there's one that's like made out of a certain material or something, and like pilots have to qualify on this, and Roswell Airport's like one of the few places in the country that can actually qualify on this.
It is, and they bring airliners in to do touch and goes. Japan Airlines have been here. And it's very unusual. Lufthansa has been here. German Airlines have been here.
That's a haul.
Yeah. But it's really strange to see a 747 or a 767 or even a 737 over the skies of Roswell, because we don't. General Airlines
absolutely
doesn't have those. Doesn't fly into Roswell.
Well, and that's the great part. Like when you go to the Walker Aviation Museum, and if you're interested in having more fun. They're always looking for more docents, but a lot of the stories you hear is families that grew up on the base during that time or lived nearby, and they'll tell the stories about some of them B-29s and some of those that they're rattling pictures and everything on the walls and everything else constantly.
Yes. It's unusual. We had a gentleman, we were out there reopening, we had a gentleman that popped in from Florida. He's waiting for a flight, and they had a reunion up in Ruidoso, and they're flying out of Roswell. But he had been stationed at one of the missile silos here in Roswell.
Which their main headquarters was at Roswell Army Airfield, Walker at that point.
And he showed we have a simulator of one of the launch controls of the missiles.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I used to sit right there.
Wow.
And we had a picture, and he went through the whole thing and told us where the officer sat and with the key and different things like that. And it was.
And here's the thing that I give props to. I mean, it's all cool and really cool what those guys did and those, but the people that were involved in that program here in Roswell, that's the first generation. That's the early intercontinental, and those first ones weren't even like fuel cells. They were having construction and fire and all. Those were not the safest.
No, we lost 8 courageous individuals building those and testing those, and it was definitely the birth of the Cold War.
Once they started getting into the Titans and the Minutemen and all of those, then they got a little better. But those first generation ICBMs were not the most stable, the most. There was a lot of risk involved in those.
No, they're very, very dangerous.
But that's also part of the museum's history and everything, and that's why and by the way, for folks that don't know, during World War II, Roswell Army Airfield at that time was one of the main training headquarters for bomb crews. If you flew a B-17, part of a B-17 crew in Europe or even in the Pacific. Odds are you spent time in Roswell, New Mexico training for that job.
12,000 individuals did that.
Yeah.
during the course of the war. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of pilots. There's a lot of aviators that came through here.
That's, and here's the part that, and this is where you get to thinking is there was heavy casualties in those bomber crews. A lot of those guys did not come back. They come here, but they were, it's, and I think we've talked about this before, but in Tucson they have a tight missile thing, and they also have the boneyard there.
Yes.
Well, in the boneyard, they've got one hangar that's dedicated to the B-17. They got a real nice B-17 in there, but they've got these big walls, around it, and the walls are filled with these. They're not even 8x10; they're 5x7 photos, and every one of them are bomb crews, and it's floor to ceiling, 2-3 stories up of pictures, and and a large percentage of those guys did not come home. It put it into perspective for me. When I saw those photos, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people we lost.
Phenomenal. It really was.
But Roswell's in the heart of that history right there.
It is the B-17.
Yeah, and so that's why we, and then obviously for the UFO side of things, when all of the things came out and they're the generals, guess where they're all coming from? Walker. That was where they're stationed. The military first response was was that base right there. So that's why I would say, hey, when you're done, and this is cool. And we've talked about it before. There's quite a bit of Roswell Army Airfield, Walker Air Force Base history in the UFO Museum as well, because it's connected.
There is,
and so
yeah.
So hopefully people's appetites get wet over there, and then they come see the real McCoy down at the airport here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility.
I know you're still waiting on some green lights here, but if green lights are given, what kind of hours do you anticipate the museum will be open this weekend?
Monday through Friday, just about 9:30 to 12:30.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to do some different hours with the festival this weekend.
We're working on some different hours.
Okay.
Depending upon the construction, the remodel, and different things like that. They're trying to spruce up the airport.
Okay.
I know I was out there. They put carpet down on ours.
They're still recovering the flood.
Yeah,
damage
they are.
Stuff. Yeah, that's what's going on out there.
And they're working as fast as they can.
Yeah. And I imagine the big thing is they're probably trying to get ready for September too.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big weekend, but for out at the airport, September is going to be a lot bigger.
yeah. And that whole area is going to be a lot bigger. So it's going to be. There's still a lot of work to do. There is. Let's be real about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is some, but we're going to be ready, and we're gonna be for that. Yeah. But this is kind of the cool part of it, and this is and here's another thing too is now that we're getting these air races, the museum is going to be growing too, just by default, because there's going to be a lot more eyeballs, footprint, and what the Reno air races are about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of common ground with Walker Aviation Museum, with the veterans, with the planes. I mean, there's just so much synergy there that if you want to get more involved, we need the volunteers. If you want to be docents or to help out with some of the clerical or archival stuff, or serving on the board in an administrative role, all of the above are needed for the Walker Aviation Museum and all this. So,
yeah,
it's kind of it's a good time because we're about to get busy, and if you love people, or you love obviously military history, airplanes, and that kind of thing, STEM, that's the other part we were not talking a lot about this morning is the museum is a preserver of history. It is also trying to see to our future and giving young people opportunities to see what's available in the aviation industry and STEM career fields. You could, if you play your cards right, you could get halfway to becoming a pilot just by hanging out at the museum.
You can,
if you do the right things.
There's different things out there,
and so there is. That's also part of it too. So if you love that aspect of things, the museum would probably love to hear from you to be part of it. Yeah.
We would. I mean, give a call. 575-420-3789.
Yeah,
that's Robert Sherman's cell. He's the one that sort of drives all this, along with Bob Donnell. I'd like to thank all those. I'm just the puppet president.
These gentlemen are retired, so this is their passion. This is what keeps them busy.
Yeah.
Doug obviously has a day job here to do it. So, so that's the beauty of it here. If there's some retirees that would love to get in there and be, at Robert and Bob's level where they've got more free time. But even if you're just saying, no, I'm a college kid, but I'd love to be a docent. Can I work a couple hours a week? I'll hold the fort down, so to speak. That would be amazing too.
There's a great legacy there.
Yes.
There's, a lot of things that we try and push students, young people to careers in aviation, from anywhere from flight nurse to pilot to navigator. Oh my gosh, there's just 1,001.
We've all seen what's happened in the post-COVID world to the airline industry.
Yes.
The big reason for all of that is lack of qualified people.
Correct.
They don't have enough. When the airline shut down and everything else, and people couldn't travel and all that, a lot of their experience were on the cusp that were maybe had a few years left. They went ahead and retired. And so there was when we came back, they didn't have enough pilots, and so people with lesser training are probably getting up into places maybe that they weren't quite ready for. And that's just pilots. It also the same thing in the air traffic control industry, the mechanic industry, every single aspect, probably even in the customer service side too, the ticket people and all that. It's across the board. So they're still recovering from that. And to be honest, if you're getting into mechanics or the flight side of it, like if you want to get your A&P license and become a mechanic, or if you want to become a pilot or an air traffic controller, you can write your own ticket. You can go anywhere in the country and find a job very easily.
Yeah,
and,
it's booming.
And make a very good living doing it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So again, the museum helps with that. So if that's your thing, want to volunteer that way, or if you're listening and saying, "Can I get in on this similar?" Yes, you can. We kind of. It's kind of, you get like a license. Like they'll put you on it and check you out on it and test you and get you. And then once they feel that you're comfortable enough to handle this, you'll kind of get like a little license. And then when the museum's open, you can flash your license and go simulate it up as long as it's not busy at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So those are opportunities there, all part of the museum. I always tell people, if you want to learn more, go check out the website, wafbmuseum.org. That stands for Walker Air Force Base Museum. There, if you want, you can read all the STEM stuff we're talking about. Like if with the museum being open and closed and this because of the flooding stuff, all the videos and all of the STEM and those educational things are available through links on the website.
Correct.
So you don't miss that part. The part you do miss is you get to see the models and all the cool stuff.
Oh, you get to see everything.
Yeah. But that part is still very much active there. So even if you're saying, hey, maybe your family and you're saying, I gotta sit around my kid and maybe give him some direction.
Yes.
Give her some direction. Go to that website and point out, and then it's not all airline based. It's STEM. There's oil field jobs. There's stuff that pretty much anything STEM related in our region. There's a link to information about.
There's information, and there's 1,001, and there's 1,000,001 positions out there.
And then for you history buffs, there's a bunch. Like if you want to see videos of bombers and some of the great I know links to like one that Gary Sinise did. I think about was it the Enola Gay or Memphis Belle or one of the, I don't remember which, one of the more famous bombers that did some stuff. And then and stuff equally like that too. And so like if you want to learn more about of course the actual B-29s that dropped the nukes. There's great videos on that. Those by the way, those planes were never officially assigned to Roswell, but both planes have sat on tarmac, sat on the Roswell Army Airfield.
They have.
They weren't assigned to it, but they were here. I knew. Matter of fact, because I'm involved with the Historical Society, and we had a heritage dinner about 8-10 years ago, and in the silent auction, someone had a beautiful framed photograph of the Enola Gay sitting on the tarmac at Roswell Army Airfield.
Oh, wow.
And I lost the bidding. I was hosting, so I couldn't really keep up on the bidding, and someone outbid me. But I was like, man, if I wasn't hosting, I'm getting that thing. But I always wanted that pick. But anyway, that's part of this history here, and so we'd love to, if you want to volunteer, and if you love that kind of stuff, there's tons of those videos there too, and that'll whet your beak until you can get on into the museum and see and touch things.
Yeah, there's a lot more information that's come out about the B-17 too. A lot more documentaries and actual pilots and crew members that have generated this kind of information, because it was such an important part of World War II. I mean,
did you you've heard of the Band of Brothers series?
Yes.
There's a Band of Brothers one. There's one they did on the Pacific. Well, it's only available on Apple Plus to my knowledge right now. But about a year ago, they put another one in called Masters of the Air. And it focuses on the bomber crews over Europe. And I'm telling you, some of the combat scenes in that series are probably the most what I think was like living in one of those B-17s during one of these bombing missions. Like when they're showing, because it's unpressurized cabins, and there's a scene where the tail gunner, he's sitting in the tail waiting, and killing idle time, he pulls his gloves off to make some notations or something on a thing, and right at that moment, German planes start rolling in, and instinctually he drops his pen and grabs his gun. He's not wearing his gloves. It's subarctic. He literally frostbites his hands to the gun because he forgot to put his gloves back. And I'm like, I've never seen that portrayed like that in a movie. And I'm thinking that, like, to me, that, and then okay, by the way, the see a bullet sitting on the floor, the blood, the bullet holes. I mean, all by the way, you're sitting up 10,000 feet in the air. I mean, that's what these men went through is just insane.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So to hear those stories, but if y'all get a chance and have it, Masters of the Air, I think the combat sequences I saw in that, to my opinion, I think is probably the closest thing to sitting in those planes and experiencing it firsthand.
It is, and all I could think of was a lot of those individuals were trained in Roswell. And it's like it's just amazing. And
they're all kids. All probably 18-year-old kids. Yeah. The officers are 20.
So, it was a pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and that's the same thing like when you were talking about the man you met who spent time in the missiles. Same thing. Those are 18-year-old kids sitting there doing with their finger on the button, basically. It's crazy.
1961. That's what he said. I was sitting there. I can't remember what he said. He was 19.
Yeah.
And I'm going, wow, that is just amazing, because during that time we had the Cuban Missile Crisis, which could have torched
that
the
was
world
in
itself 14 days of we've ever gotten close to nuclear fallout. That was it.
You know, what we were at DEFCON 4 or something like that. I don't know what we were, but it's just him talking about it, and he kept on saying I was so young. I was wow, it's pretty amazing.
It's one thing when you're in our age graphic or age group that to have those thoughts, but when you're 18 and having those thoughts, because you haven't done anything yet, I mean, you think but you hadn't, but
he just sort of fawned over the the whole control console, the launch console, and wow, this is something he was.
But the training does kick in those moments, like when
really does.
When the stuff hits the fan. That's why the military does it. Military, for all the knocks or whatever you want to say, when it comes to getting people to do a thing, they're very good at it.
Yeah, they are very well trained. Very well trained.
They're very good at that thing. But again, this is why the museum's important. This is why we're here. And it also too. Speaking of the silos, while you're out there and you haven't seen the dedication plaque that's right in the front of the airport there that they put up, about 6 months ago, maybe?
I don't think it's been that long. Well, it was in February.
Okay, so 4 months.
About that.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months ago. If you haven't a chance to check that out, come spend a moment and pay respects there before you head on in to the airport there and to the museum. If you come through the main entrance of the airport, the middle entrance, you can't miss the walker area. It's right there in your face.
It is.
If you do come from the left or right wings, make towards the center, and you'll find the museum there.
A lot of history.
Absolutely.
A lot of legacy there.
It is. AFBmuseum.org, too. If you'd like to make donations, everything, I believe there's the link there as well.
Yes.
You can do that. And again, because of the unavailability of it being open for the last 6-8 months, a lot of donations. People come in. It's free to come to the museum, but people leave $10-$20 just
they do
to do. And that has not been happening for the last 6-8
no,
months.
We haven't had the doors open.
So if you can donate online, if you've got ability and you're looking for a place that money can get put to some good around here, that's a great way to do that. Support the museum, support the history, support that, and if you're interested in being a volunteer, I cannot tell you, it's a really rewarding experience. I hear more and more people talk about, especially this time of year in the summer when people are coming in to visit, and a lot of times it's family members, maybe their granddaughters or grandsons of someone that served here, or a dad, mom and dad was a server here and they were a kid here, or they weren't here, but they're kind of, my dad was a mechanic here, or my mom worked at the BX there or whatever. That's kind of, you get a lot of those stories, and that's what the museum celebrates too. Yes, we talk about the missile silos and what planes served here at what time and did what, but most of the history is talking about the baseball team, or this is what they did at the NCO club when they were, or this was a festival that happened. Because there's I've seen in y'all's collection, and Robert's brought them in a few times, like the fair book from the '60s, and how much the museum,
Bowling League, the whole deal. It was a little city out there,
and the base was very integral in that.
It was the lifeblood of Roswell. It really was.
So a lot of the events and a lot of the community surrounded about what's going on out at the air base.
So when the base closed in '67. They felt like they were going to have to roll, Main Street up and, move it down south.
Yeah.
That was the deal.
And to this day, I am amazed that they would close that. I mean, not so much. It's just because of where it's located and the airspace of it. I know there's Holloman and Cannon, and maybe they can meet all those needs through there, but those aren't bomber bases. Neither one of them are bomber bases.
No.
They are fighter bases. Or drone or whatever, but in Kirtland, that's never been an aircraft base. They have special forces helicopters. They ain't. I think the Guard has some A-10s out there or something, but there's not that kind of support to put a fighter wing or a bomber wing out there. There's not that kind of room.
No, there's not.
So the assets that base has seems like, I don't know. It just feels like maybe that, when they do because I know Cannon's been on the thing before Kirtland, and Congress people have saved those bases.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why didn't they push harder for Roswell, man? Because to me, its mission, what it does. Now, and granted, maybe, maybe people with more stars said we can do that here now or whatever. I don't know. But I feel like this was a gem that they let go a little too soon.
Just a runway itself.
Yeah.
Exactly. That long runway, that deep runway that could handle a B-52 space shuttle. At the time, it was an alternate
all I'm
landing
saying
spot
is
of the space shuttle.
Whiteman is the home of the B-2 bombers right now.
Right.
Roswell Army Airfield or Walker Air Force Base would have been a fine establishment to store those B-2s.
And it's still an alternate base for landing.
Yeah.
It was B-2 because it can handle it. There's not many around like Roswell.
Yeah, Roswell's very unique.
Yeah.
Why do you think also whenever the president comes to southeast New Mexico, they always come into Roswell?
They do.
Like when they go down to Carlsbad and stuff, like when Obama went down to the caverns here half dozen years ago. They flew into Roswell, and I think they rolled out Marine One and then choppered him down there from there, because Air Force One doesn't come by itself, folks. It comes with a couple of C-5 Galaxies and a whole support team.
It has an entourage.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, but that's this base. We have this weird, and that's why. Now we're starting to, and this was their A races. They obviously have seen that, and that's why they're here. That side of it, and the potential here is great. And getting to the air races, I know we're in the middle of UFO Festival about to start, but we're going to get our butt kicked for this year's UFO. Air races.
And they're going to have a place to fly some of those static displays in for the air races.
Yeah, it's a full-on air show, because I think they could get the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels, or once.
Yeah, they'll develop that into within the course of this year or next.
When one of those two teams show up, that makes your air show official. If you got the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, you were official air show.
You've made it.
Yep.
You made it.
Yeah. And I'm hoping they'll bring in some of the other military aircraft too from
they're supposed
from
to.
Holloman and because I ain't gonna lie, I'd love to see an F-22 do its thing up there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I wouldn't mind seeing a few A-10s buzz around there, and when I actually saw the air show at Davis-Monthan in Tucson, Arizona, several years ago. That's an A-10 base. That's one they house those there, and of course they did their A-10 flybys, but they fired the gun off.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
If you hear there's depending on what side of the fence you're on, the sound of brrrt is either the sound of freedom or I'm about to have a problem. And they when they fire off that 30 mil cannon on that A-10, it's a sight to see. And my wife and them, I'd seen it a couple times being military, but first time I said, y'all are lucky. You don't get to see unless you watch a video on YouTube. You're not going to get to see that very often. That was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. All of this is kind of saying this could be here. This could be, with the air races and everything. So volunteers are desperately needed. Donations are desperately needed. And good news is, as we open up, we're ready to come and bring visitors and come be a part of, see what the museum's all about.
Yeah.
Here.
Come see us. And, if volunteering and you can help out in any way, any shape or form, we will take it.
Absolutely.
We welcome it.
Please come. You know what? Come by this weekend and talk. I know Robert will be there at some point. Maybe yourself and various other members of the organization will be a part of it there too. So come see it. Come check it out. Come get involved. WAFBmuseum.org is the website. You can also follow the Walker Air Force Base on Facebook as well too. And I know Juliana puts a lot of cool pictures and stuff up there.
She does. She does a wonderful job as well.
So
does Stephen Miller. I mean, there's a bunch.
And like a lot of times they'll get, not so much lately, obviously, because of the flooding and stuff, but during the year they'll get like school kids coming in, like the Navy will be coming into town to do some kind of training, and they'll partner with the museum to bring some school kids down, and they'll let them climb all over the Navy refuelers and stuff. There's stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool stuff like that. Doug, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover?
No, speaking of school programs and different things like that, we'll be out a little bit later on this month to sort of recruit a number of people from the different school, RISD and of course Gateway and different things like that to come out and visit us at the museum to encourage young people. This is what is happening in aviation.
Absolutely. And by the way, since now we're starting to open again, imagine if you're a youth group, church group, or sports team, civic group, whatever, but if you got a group with youth, reach out to the museum. We can do specialized little programs or tours for those groups, depending on group size and things, where they get to experience the simulators, see the STEM side, but also get to see the military history side of it, too. So.
Yes. Definitely.
They love doing those kind of things. So, and now that we're starting to become a normal museum again, now that post-flooding, we can start doing those things again. So
we can.
Reach out to the website or the Facebook if you want more information there on that too. So good deal. Well, thanks, Doug. I appreciate everything. And if you do me a favor, if you get some set hours for this week, shoot me a text or whatever.
I will.
And that way I'll let people know on the radio, say, hey, they're going to be open these hours.
Okay.
I'm not doing a show Friday, but I will tomorrow. So.
Okay. We appreciate that. We appreciate all you do.
Anything else I can do to help, and appreciate what you guys do, and bigger and better and more. Hopefully, as the months progress here, we got bigger and better things to talk about that are on the horizon.
Oh yeah, we should be.
So, good deal.
We should be.
Thank you as always.
Thank you.
All right, it's 8:53. Let's pause for news, sports, and a quick break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia firefighters and police officers joined in on Monday to help with painting of the mural near Eagle Draw. Anyone can help create the mural. A sign welcomes people to help create the artwork. The National Championship Air Races recently completed its first ever pylon racing seminar at its new home in Roswell. The 4-day training event brought together race officials, volunteers, and pilots preparing to compete in the upcoming races. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to take place in September. PRS is a long-standing requirement for pilots who are new to the event or have not raced in the past 3 years. And a few new details in a fatal train incident on Saturday near Alamogordo. Railroad officials said a trespasser was struck and killed by the train near Eddy Drive and Mesa Verde Ranch Road. Kristen South, Senior Director of Corporate Communications with Union Pacific, said the unnamed man was walking along the tracks when he was struck. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
The stock market rotated to stocks that have not been doing as well as the tech stocks that have driven the recent rally. So leading gainers included Target and Best Buy, Home Depot, Starbucks, Airbnb, and even the Outback Steakhouse. After the surprising and broad gains from the April plunge in stocks, many investment firms think the worst for stocks is probably behind us. Though other investment firms say, but tariffs may still hurt the economy and interest rates are still high. New taxes on clean energy companies were taken out of the tax cuts and spending bill in the Senate. They also raised state and local tax deductions from $10,000 to $40,000, and computer chip companies got larger tax credits. Now we'll hear what changes in the House. Employers posted the most job openings in almost 7 months, 8 million job openings, though it depends on the state and the industries. The most jobs were in hospitality, food services, finance, and insurance. 4th of July travel has started, and now there have been snags at some airports, including at Newark, where delays are lower than earlier this year, though, partly because they've reduced flights. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
What if the future of finance wasn't built around averages, but around you? At Abacus Global Management, we're reshaping financial planning around the most personal data point, your lifespan. But it's more than just insight, it's control. As a technology-driven asset manager, we're empowering investors with an integrated system to take command of your time, your future, your financial destiny. This is a new era of investing. Take control at abacusgm.com.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Albertsons United Supermarkets and all Farmers Country Markets.
If you want to experience the best Beatles tribute ever, grab some tickets and twist and shout with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute, on July 12th at the Spencer Theater. This loving tribute to the Beatles has amazed audiences in countries around the world. Get your tickets today at spencertheater.com or by calling the box office at 575-336-4800. We'll see you at the Spencer.
Still burning cash on posters that get tattered, tired, and tossed? Turn heads with vibrant LED posters from DSI. Plug and play with custom updatable graphics. Showcase a single showstopper or link several for a seamless video wall. For over 27 years, DSI has helped New Mexico businesses communicate smarter with printers, IT support, AV, and more. Ready to elevate your message and cut costs? Call 888-386-7834 or visit DSINM.com today.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Hey, I say we start looking ahead to the fall sports, and that includes football, and of course that includes the defending 5A state champs, the Roswell Coyotes, who finished 11-1. Only loss of the season was in Week 3 to Lovington. Then Roswell won 9 straight, including a 44-40 victory at Artesia, and then beat the Bulldogs in the state championship game 41-22. A lot of great players were seniors last year for Roswell, but they've got some guys who were underclassmen who actually were All-Staters. Daniel Chavez Gonzalez, first-team All-State as a junior at offensive guard, second-team All-State at tight end. Noah Estrada last year, he was a junior, and Ethan Lopez was a junior last year when he garnered honorable mention status as an offensive tackle. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Members of the House returned to Washington Wednesday to begin the process of approving the GOP massive domestic spending bill with hopes of sending it to President Trump's desk by the 4th of July. The body began the day with debate on the rules for proceeding to the debate on the legislation. Fresh off an all-night-long debate in the Rules Committee, ranking Democrat Jim McGovern said the entire process was out of order. Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will have the bill to the White House by President Trump's July 4th deadline so that Congress can begin putting new policies in place for the American people. Bernie Bennett, Capitol Hill.
And the president's urging Republicans to stick together.
As the House takes up the Senate version of the president's domestic priorities bill, he's optimistic about the legislation's chances.
I think it's going to do very well in the House. We'll see how that works out.
He claims the bill has something for everyone and vows that Medicare and Medicaid are being strengthened despite claims to the contrary. The president writes online that the GOP must unite and ignore the occasional grandstanders. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The University of Pennsylvania formally apologizing to its female swimmers negatively impacted by its policy on so-called transgender athletes. The school is reversing its policy and is also rewriting its athletic record book. Ruling 4-3, Wisconsin Supreme Court has struck down the state's 176-year-old abortion ban, ruling it has been replaced by newer state laws that regulate the procedure. Microsoft firing thousands of workers, its second mass layoff in months. The tech giant started sending out the layoff notices today. Word that Tesla sales tumbled 13% April through June. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 28 points, while the Nasdaq trading 159 points higher, and the S&P is up 15 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Concerned that America's weapons cupboard is looking pretty bare, the Trump administration will hold on to some of the arms that were to be sent overseas.
The Pentagon isn't saying which ones, but the U.S. is halting some weapons shipments to Ukraine. This after a Pentagon review determined stockpiles have declined too much. The White House says the decision was made to put America's interests first, and the Pentagon's top policy advisors stressed the need to preserve U.S. forces' readiness. Last week, President Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the NATO summit and left open the possibility of sending more Patriot air defense missile systems, telling reporters,
"We're going to see if we can make some available. You know, they're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel. and they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective, and they do want that more than any other thing.
Ben Thomas, Washington.
News and analysis, townhall.com. She is among the most wanted women around.
In Texas, the mother of a Tarrant County boy missing for more than 2 years now has been added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. Cindy Rodriguez Singh is charged with capital murder in the disappearance of Noel Alvarez, who is presumed dead, although no body has been found. The 6-year-old with special needs was last seen at his home in late 2022. Investigators interviewed Rodriguez Singh in March of 23 when they say she lied, saying the boy was with his biological father in Mexico. 2 days later, the woman, her husband, and 6 other kids boarded a flight for India without the missing boy. There is now a $250,000 reward for information leading to her arrest and conviction. Tasha Stevens reporting.
In stark contrast to what economists were expecting, payroll processor ADP reports that America's private sector employers shed 33,000 jobs last month. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy, almost, it's a weird week.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday, but it feels like Thursday.
It's like a Thursday, yeah, because
tomorrow's kind of Friday, because Independence Day's Friday, and then the UFO Festival starts tomorrow. And so it's Wednesday, even though it feels like 3 Thursdays or 2 Fridays. I don't know what you ever call it. Whatever.
And it's the first of the month, so you get a lot of a lot of interesting stuff as far as like sales goes, new stuff, new spots coming in, and it makes things complicated when you work in this business. I always say like a holiday this close to the first of the month, it throws everything off.
Yeah, it gets people. I know, like July come in weird. Like anytime the first starts on like a Tuesday, it throws me off because I'm still in June mode.
Right.
And I'm like next day, oh, it's July 1. Oh, it's a whole. And then, not that matters to us, but it's also like new start of a fiscal year. So in some offices, that's a real.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was in the military. This is during the Clinton year.
Right.
And towards the June time frame, when the money was out, like the planes, like they literally. I remember one week we didn't even fly missions because they ran out of money.
Oh wow!
And so the bombing range, we couldn't even get styrofoam coffee cups in the break room because we were out.
Just cupped hands.
Yeah.
Had to enjoy our coffee.
Because we didn't even have.
I was in the Air Force. But July 1, the coffee cups showed up. Like July 1, out of some magic closet, these coffee cups showed up out of nowhere.
Funds were allocated.
The missions go back up and everything else. So, yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like, oh, it's the last week of the month. Yeah, a lot of sports days. With this guy. That's what's, at least in the Air Force, like they can't give you the day off, but they really don't feel like doing any work. We're going to make it a squadron sport day. And so go to the bowling alley or something. And go do that.
Go hang out and get paid.
And I worked mid-shift, so I did none of that. I just said, I already worked. I'm going to bed.
Put in my time. Good night, everybody.
We're going to march out to the drop zone, and then we're going to march across the drop zone like we just did a jump onto the drop zone. And And then we're going to move out to our bivouac areas and start digging our fighting positions.
Exactly.
As we run through the woods going bang, 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 because we have no ammunition.
Yes. Well, I do, laser tag. No.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, this is going down to police, but when we used to do exercises.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when we're not doing our regular day job and stuff, from time to time we play preparing for war. And there's two different types of exercises. There's a phase 1 exercise, which is a deployment.
Okay.
Which basically they call you in the middle of the night and say, grab your go bag, you're about to go. And then we got to go practice processing. And we even faked getting on planes and the whole nine and all that. But then there's the phase 2 exercise.
Mm.
And that's when we play war. Basically, our flight line turns into a forward operating base.
Oh.
And basically, I have to sit in one of our hangars for 12 hours and babysit 4 jets and load them or whatever needs to be done to them in that course of a simulated war. Occasionally, they'll do chemical attacks on us, and then we have to run and put our gas masks on. And then I had to go load a jet with the gas masks on. They gave me an M16, and every once in a while I had to walk around the building and see if there's any crap laying, like an IUD. And sometimes they'd simulate one. They'll just throw some junk on the flight line, and then I have to go cordon it off and call the people.
An IED or an IUD? There's a marked difference.
Huge difference.
The one that the blow up.
Okay, that's
the E.
Just for clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad.
Did I say you or E?
She said you.
Oh,
I was going to let it slide.
The one that blows
Sean
up.
and I are like side-eyeing each other.
I'm just curious. At any point in time, did somebody run up with an M16 and go, "Simulated war, simulated hell, sir"?
No. No, most of them are like, how do you use this thing? No,
Didn't
but
have
yeah.
instructions like my gloves.
So yeah, they do all that, but most of the time you're sucking rubber. Like I'll that's sitting wearing the gas mask and everything else. And so I remember and one time, and this is when Kim and I were dating, and I basically went. She got worried because she was about to go on a cruise with her family, and I went radio silent. Like they're trying to call me and they couldn't call me. And literally I got home from a weekend with her, got a phone call and said, phase 1 exercise. And so I had to pack and go. And then they decided they're going to roll the phase 1 into a phase 2.
Oh, my Lanta.
And so after I got playing on the plane, I had to go sit in a hangar for 12 hours and play war there. And so, yeah, it was like 3 days later I called her. I'm like, sorry, I couldn't get to a phone. I was literally exercising.
I was playing war, sorry.
They had me on simulated lockdown.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I don't know how I got down that road. Where would that start? I don't even know where that conversation started. I'm lost.
Not even totally
It's all
sure.
good.
Yeah.
It just
Because it's raining. Let's blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
Blame it on the rain. It just happens though that the conversation drifts to military.
Yeah.
With you.
But I will tell you, when I knew it was exercise week, there was a sandwich shop in Alamogordo. Boy, howdy. You could get this Dagwood of this thing was probably 2 feet long. It had 800 pounds of meat on this bad boy. And but it wasn't a party sub. It was about 2 feet.
It's a personal grinder.
And that I ate a lot of those during not all at once, but like over the course of an exercise. I'm like, all right, I'll hook
So you didn't do it like Shaggy, open and just whole thing.
And then when they didn't make us do work, we played a lot of spades.
Nice.
So eating sandwiches, playing spades, and waiting for them to simulate the next attack or whatever. That was pretty much what we did. But anyway, those sandwiches were good. I wish I remember the name of that. I bet it's not open anymore. It was on, people that know Alamogordo, it was on Indian Wells, if you remember that street. It was over on Indian Wells. Kind of a dumpy place.
Spent a little bit of time
deli.
in Alamogordo. I kind of know Indian Wells, but I'm not familiar
Yeah, it
with
was a kind of a dumpy diner, a deli type place.
They're always the best food, man. You got to
was
find them holes in the wall.
On point. Anyway, probably should get the hour going.
Uh-huh.
Probably.
War's hell, sir.
Probably should. Let me give you the rundown here. We'll get you up to date with the weather. It's raining here in just a minute. You got a window? Open it. But yeah, it's raining right now. And then here in a few minutes, we'll have the folks from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce join us here, give us an update. Of course, with UFO Festival going on, a lot of stuff going on. So we'll chit-chat about all that and beyond after this. So we'll do that. And then we'll get you updated with the news of the local variety, Wall Street business updates, and all that good stuff, too. Real quick before I do weather, I do want to put this on everyone's radar. The Roswell-Chaves County Economic Development Corporation are going to be hosting a food service event for folks that may be interested in helping with food services during the National Championship air races. Those take place in September. The meeting will take place at the ENMUR campus in the ITC Commons, which is located at 23 West Mathis, next Wednesday, July 9th at 9 a.m. You do need to RSVP. You can do so by contacting Kristen Chappell. You can reach her via the telephone at 575-622-1975. Again, that's 575-622-1975. Or shoot her an email, Kristen, Kristen, at chavezcounty.net. Kristen, Kristen, at chavezcounty.net. And again, that's going to be the 9th, next Wednesday, July 9th, 9 a.m. at the ITC Commons, 23 West Mathis, on the campus of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. So, all right, it is 9:14. Here is your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be getting clouds and a pretty good chance of rain and thunderstorms today. We still have that monsoon flow coming into the area. Showers and thunderstorms possible till about midnight tonight, then just cloudy. We'll be in the mid-60s, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms again on Thursday with our high in the mid-80s. Clearing up on Thursday night. Good news for our Independence Day, sunny and low 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees. It says light rain. Go light to mid. Humidity is at 22% with winds out of the southeast at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 60% chance of more of this for the rest of the day. I always like saying when it's actually raining, we got a 60% chance of rain. I'm like, well, it's raining right now, so I'd say it's a little higher than that. But anyway, that's what they're saying for the rest of the day here. Mostly cloudy, and enjoy the cool day. 79 is going to be our expected high today. Saturday will not be the same. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying we're expecting less than 1/10 of an inch today, but I call foul on that. I think we've already hit that quota for today. Yeah, I think there's more on the way. Tonight we are looking at a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorm chances as well. Cloudy, overnight low of 67, southeast winds 5 to 10. Could see another 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain tonight overnight. Thursday, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy. 82 for a high tomorrow, south winds 5 to 10. Again, another 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain possible for Thursday. Thursday night, 40% chance of rain, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy. 66 for an overnight low, south winds 5 to 10, hopefully. Because at 9 p.m. tomorrow night, it's supposed to be the drone show downtown here. Hopefully that doesn't delay that, because, no, it's Thursday. The drone show's Thursday night. Yeah, because they couldn't get it Friday. And they were like, oh, Thursday's available. And they said, oh, well, we're going to be day early. Thursday works. Perfect. Yeah, they couldn't get the drone show for Friday, so it's going to be Thursday night, 9 o'clock, right downtown here. But anyway, hopefully the weather doesn't mess that up. But for your Independence Day, all the rain goes away. Sunny skies and 94 on Friday. South winds 5 to 10. Saturday, sunny skies, high of 100 expected. And then Sunday, they do tack on a 20% chance of rain, but partly cloudy and 94 otherwise. So 20%, we laugh at that now. They're like, that's fine. I'm not even going to bring an umbrella. But so good for most of the festival. The only day that might get a little squirrely is day one. Tomorrow. So we'll see. All right, 9:17. Let's take a 2-minute break, and then we will talk with the folks from the Roswell Chamber. Don't go away.
Growing things in Roswell is a battle. Your lawn's trying to turn brown, your trees are wanting to turn yellow, the weeds want to take over, and the fleas and ticks are trying to move in. So come down to Roswell Seed Company and choose your weapons. We have fertilizer to make your lawn lush and lovely, iron to keep your trees nice and green, sprays to kill the weeds, and more sprays to chase away the fleas and ticks. This is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. Yeah, it's a jungle out there, except it never rains.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
This just in, Roswell Hyundai is giving you an explosive chance to win. Yup, Roswell Hyundai is giving away a massive $300 fireworks package from Amy's Fireworks this Thursday at noon sharp. Stop by Roswell Hyundai and register now. While you're there, check out the slashed prices across the lot, with many vehicles just $222 a month, plus 0% for up to 60 months on 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. No payments for 90 days and up to $2,000 for your trade. Blowout savings and explosive prizes are waiting for you at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore, and, of course, Gary Thrine back with us. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thanks for having us, as always.
As always, my pleasure. So, weather's a little weird, but we do have a UFO festival coming up.
That's right.
24
Tomorrow,
hours
starting
from now.
tomorrow.
And, of course, we're going to have a lot of out-of-town visitors. I imagine that the chamber will be busy, too, with people coming in and looking for things to do and looking,
Today and tomorrow we'll be busy with people saying what's going on, what's the schedule. So we'll have, we'll be able to give them the websites and a copy of the schedule.
Yeah. By the way, today's edition of the Daily Record has the Vision insert that's got everything for the UFO Festival weekend, Galacticon. There's some cool little stories about some of the people that are involved. You can pick that up in today's Daily Record. It is in today's. It won't be in tomorrow's or yesterday's. It's in today's, and you can so grab one.
And if you don't get the paper, you can go down to the Roswell Daily Record office and get the insert.
And I know they're going to have some inserts available downtown the day of. But I'm telling you, they've had these inserts. Anything on paper is going to be off a little bit because, the events are mostly happening, but I know like the concert lineup is going to be tweaked a little bit. So what you're seeing on the paper versus if you go to the website, that will be more accurate. If you're trying to find out what time a band plays, you might want to go to the UFOfestival.com website. That way you can, because they did have to shift a few of the band times around to accommodate some other things and stuff. So,
yeah.
And that happened post-printing. So,
so
things just put those heads up on there.
Anticipate.
Yeah. But like I said, there's lots of places to get a copy of that, but you can get and the one in the Daily Record, if you want to, they got, I encourage grabbing that one just to even read some of the, like you get some of the background about some of the vendors and there's some really cool personal stories in there about, their experience and why they're coming here. So if you love that side of it, go grab the Daily Record insert. But if you're just trying to find out who to go and what to do and where, any of those resources will be pretty good.
Yep.
So, including the chamber. We can guide you and direct you wherever we possibly can. So
we'll do our very best to help out anybody to get their information.
Yeah.
I know that we have sponsored the UFO car.
Yes.
Steve Anderson is coming back this year with his UFO car.
He's making his way as we speak.
He is. So maybe he'll be in the news like he was last year, because that was kind of cool. I know he had been working on a surprise for us, but unfortunately he wasn't able to complete that project. So hopefully we'll have that for next year.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The Galacticon people told me.
Yeah.
He's trying to build a Jetsons car.
Yes.
Like the Jetsons, the bubble car. Problem was the bubble didn't, it either didn't come in time or something. He didn't have the bubble part of it ready for the UFO festival. So, hopefully next year, they might have to do a convoy to bring the UFO car, the Jetson bubble car. It's not going to be like that. Like, you ever see that meme on, and it's usually like some kind of car hauler. And on the back of it's got like the A-Team van, the Dukes of Hazzard car, the Knight Rider. It's gonna be like that.
Yep. So we're excited to have Steve back, and he'll, be between Galacticon and the UFO Festival and around town. So if you see him, make sure you go and.
I know he'll, like you say, he's gonna be in the light parade and everything else during most of the UFO Festival. I think it's gonna be parked right there in front of where Galacticon will be, which is right across the UFO Museum there in the old Roswell Home Furnishings.
Correct.
The Lazy Boy Studio. They'll keep the car there. I think it will leave. I think it does have a couple public or private appearances while it's in town at some other
I think
places.
so.
I think it's going to be hanging out at Kremlin for a little bit.
Probably I got to go share that up with everybody today.
Kremlin and the Chamber are sponsoring the UFO car here. So I think he's going to be making appearances at those places.
And he will give rides now that there is a nominal cost to that, because obviously he's got to pay for gas and things like that. But you can get a ride, and it's actually kind of fun to get in there. It's worth it.
4-seater? I don't remember how.
It's a 2-seater.
2-seater. Okay, so so you get to go by yourself.
You and Steve, and he'll.
Because I don't think Steve will let you drive.
No.
So.
And I don't want to drive it because I don't want to have to pay for, you break it, you buy it kind of thing. And
I imagine it's a little weird to line it up in parking spaces and things, because it's not car shaped. It's a big round disc that you're driving around in. And, I feel like despite the fact it's got a big screen, there's got to be blind spots. There's got to be some weird, and your wheelbase, like there's a lot more metal past your wheelbase.
Yes.
If that makes sense, which makes it harder to navigate and turn sometimes. Anybody that's driven vehicles and things, when your wheelbase is here, but you got this much more vehicle around it, that's a little trickier to drive.
Yes.
You just got to always remember, have a ground guide.
There you go. Exactly. And,
so that'll be fun. Of course, Main Street Roswell will have their tent on the courthouse lawn.
Yes.
And they've got the scavenger hunt passport deal
They're doing
going on.
bingo this year.
Yes.
It's going to be bingo cards. So it's very similar, but you'll be playing bingo this year.
Correct.
So, yeah. And then, of course, don't forget that they'll be doing the drone show Thursday night at 9. The live music and everything, I believe, starts Friday.
I think so.
I know. Well, you know what? I think they're going to have some stuff on the main stage. The cultural stage will not have anything until Friday, if I remember correctly. That'll be the south end stage.
Correct.
So the north end of the festival is the main stage. The one at the south end is the cultural stage.
Correct. And there's going to be all kinds of, wonderful vendors as always, both food and otherwise. Of course, the UFO Museum always has wonderful guest speakers that come in. So if you are anywhere on that spectrum from hardcore believer to, this is just fun and I just want to have a good time, there is going to be something there for you this weekend.
Absolutely. And by the way, if you're looking for extra alien swag, you can swing by the chamber. And if you like that tie that Gary, if you're watching the video side, we sell some things like that. If you want some extra alien accoutrement to add to your, so you tell your out-of-town friends and family that, gobble up everything with a green or gray face on it, we got some stuff for you.
We do. And it's unique. We really try to not compete with our vendors in the downtown area.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of cool stuff too, but if you're looking for something a little different, we got a few items for you at the
that you
too.
Absolutely cannot find anywhere else, I promise.
Yes, they are uniquely made.
They are definitely maybe two of a kind.
Because aren't they made by one person that only has connections to a guy we know in the room here?
Yeah. Absolutely. Gary's beautiful wife Melanie.
That's right.
Loves to do arts and crafts for us, and so she's gotten in the habit of when she's doing something, she'll make one or two.
Make a run extra.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why Gary hasn't bought a tie in 30 years.
No.
Well,
Maybe
not quite 30 years, but we did just have our 11th anniversary.
All right,
so
it's been about 10 years.
Okay, so it's like 30 years.
Right.
He's like,
no.
Trust me, I've been married 20.
We
I know
love
that.
you, Melanie.
She's saying the same thing on the other side. Yes, it's just marriage. When you hit a certain window, you get past all that stuff. You're just
I just don't take orders for what she makes, because then it goes from being a hobby to being a job.
Then it's a job. Yeah.
Yeah.
She makes what she makes, and you will like it.
Well, and that's what we want. Is we want
Absolutely.
her to give us, you know, the best of herself, and we want her to love, because you can tell of all of the products that we do have at the chamber that they are made with love and care, because she puts her whole heart and soul in anything that she does, and we are so thankful. At least I know I am, when Gary comes in, he goes, "Look at what we got over the weekend," and we have. So we do. We've got a handful of some pretty cute things.
Yeah. So if you're looking for some extra stuff and you're trying to come on by, and of course, if you have questions or anything about where to go, or those out of town friends, when they're looking for restaurants and looking for places, and they come in the chamber, we always tell them, our chamber members, go check out Peppers or whoever our other chamber members are, and we invite them there first. So again,
absolutely,
membership has its privileges. If you're not a member of the chamber and interested in being one, even though I know it's a busy week at the festivaling, we can help you out there a little bit and doing all that stuff and get the ball rolling on that.
The only bad question is the one not asked, so don't worry about calling me. You can also go to our website, roswellnm.org.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little join button up in the upper right-hand corner. Click on it and just follow the prompts. So,
absolutely.
and
probably a little late for promoting you during UFO Festival, but good news is here in about 2 months, we're going to be doing this all over again on probably a bigger scale.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely. Because we've got.
So let's get you in time for that one.
We have a thing called an air race coming.
Whole deal in September they keep talking about.
And we're still working on that map. So if Lunar Cow gives you a call or contacts you, it's still time to get in on the map, on the paper copy.
Because their goal is to try to have that up and running by September.
We really would like to, and we just have a couple of spaces left on the paper map. So if we can get those, the faster we get those last few
that'll
spots,
lock it down.
Then it's locked down. We go into production.
Unlimited digital spaces. So
yes.
If you don't make it on the paper copy, you will be able to make it into the digital
Perfect.
copy.
So even if they get closed on the paper copy, you still can get it on the digital.
Absolutely.
But if you want to make sure you're in on the ground floor with the paper copy, you need to get on the stick and either contact them or if they
give me a call
you,
and I'll connect you to
contact the
Yes.
chamber directly and we'll put you directly in touch with them.
Absolutely.
And that would be at 575-623-5695 is our landline. And my membership cell is 575-626-4008.
And if you're not familiar with this, this is the evolution of, like, when you go into the chambers around the country and they have that map of the town and there's like a few sponsor restaurants and a few. This is an evolution of that. The paper copy is just like you've known and seen for years. It's that same thing. But because of technology, that map also has a digital version. And Luna Cow, they're the purveyors of it, and so you can use it as a marketing tool. So when high tech people don't need the paper map anymore, they just download the app on their phone.
Correct.
They can go and say, oh, and then your business is like, oh man, oh by the way, Peppers is having a special on margaritas. Let's go there, or whatever it is. You can update your thing to do that.
Absolutely, and Lunar Cow will does not charge anybody for the digital changes. So you could change it once a month, as you would like, and Lunar Cow will do it at no cost. Once you have paid for your spot to advertise on the map, then any changes you want, obviously the paper map, you're stuck with what you got, but on the digital map, that's where you have that flexibility to be able to change.
Absolutely.
Or if you've changed locations, because there have been a couple of our members that have moved from, site A to site B. Well, now you're going to just
Calico
move your
Cow's
pin.
been in a couple places over the last few years here.
Yep.
Yeah. As they grow and need bigger, more space, and those things happen.
Exactly.
So,
and so those are the kinds of things that are wonderful. So, yeah, if you have not already been contacted by Lunar Cow and you would like to advertise, call us at the office, or and we'll put you in touch with them.
Absolutely, and get that. And it's it's a great way to market your company affordably.
Yes,
and, because this is designed for businesses that don't have an HR department or a marketing department. You know what I mean?
Correct.
They're just your business
Our
and
small mom and pop places.
Staff. Yeah, this is
Same
what this
thing
is
with
for.
our weekly newsletter. It's, flyers for the weekly newsletter to put out if you sponsor a team, or if you have a special that you want us to make sure it gets out to everybody.
We could update that every week.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And again, these are tools that you can take advantage of. Now, the Luna Cow, you don't have to be a chamber member. But
correct.
we'd love you to. But with becoming a chamber member, these are the other marketing tools that we can provide you that basically marketing department would have or something like that that you can't afford or your business isn't that, but you can get some of those same tools. And that's what Gary can provide. So when you talk, when Gary talks about your membership, and we can customize it to whoever works on these different levels of membership, you're like, well, I need some of this, but I don't need any of that. Okay, well, then let's
That's right. Then we'll talk. Let's sit
a la
down,
carte
talk with
this a little
Gary,
bit here
and
and see what we can do.
Well,
Yeah.
absolutely, because
Yeah.
not everybody needs everything that is listed under our benefits for the different packages that we offer at the chamber. So look at everything from that 30,000 viewpoint.
Yeah.
And if you go, wait a second, for example, if you don't need to use our boardroom, which is a perk of being a member, but you would like us to do more marketing type stuff, just let us know and we'll work out, okay, well, this is what we can do for you, because we can even create some of those flyers and the marketing images. And of course, we will make it and we'll give it back to you so you have final approval, because we're not going to put anything out that is not already approved.
Exactly. And then conversely, you're like, no, I'm an online business. My marketing's good. I need a physical place to meet and interview and talk to people. There's our boardroom.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to be
instead
in
of them
once
meeting
a month.
in your garage or wherever your office at your house, whatever it is. So, those are options too. But either way, put it this way: if you do business in Chaves County, even if your business isn't based out of Chaves County, you should be a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
It's part of that connection. As I say multiple times, larger companies and corporations join so they can connect to the community. Smaller companies join so they can get a bigger footprint in the community. And
correct.
That's what we do. And so please help out there. While we got you, Gary, do you want to do a Redcoats plug here too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, this is the time of year that I do my big hit on recruiting for the Redcoats, because we run from June and July to June and July.
Yeah.
And so we've got some new Redcoats that are coming on board. We've got some that are stepping away and going back to their regular lives.
All right.
But it is absolutely very good for your business if you have at least one person on your staff that is a Redcoat, because when we have our ribbon cutting events or our business after hours, I've seen corporate staff come in when they're opening a new business here in Roswell and literally go around the room and ask each Redcoat, okay, who are you? Who do you represent?
Where you come from?
And do you have a business card? Here's my card, and let's maybe do some business in the
Networking.
future after this little get-together.
Absolutely.
So it's a great way to promote your company, or have one of your staff promote your company
Absolutely.
when you're not there.
And if you're just a social butterfly, it's a lot of fun because you get to talk to
Exactly.
people, and a couple times a week you could be doing ribbon cuttings. And
My grandkids say, Grandpa, do you know everybody in Roswell? No, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, when you hit every place, at some point you meet everybody, and
That's right.
But that's and of course the idea is to get as many people available to be Redcoats as possible, because sometimes there's weeks where there's 2 or 3 events a week, sometimes twice in a day,
right?
And so we want to have a pool, basically, and so we can have like A team, B team, C team, and say, all right, A team's covering this event, B team's covering this event, C team's covering this event.
Yep.
And that way, not everybody's doing all the events, and not.
And then if you have multiple staff on the Redcoats, then I can break you out in over those teams.
Absolutely.
That way, not everybody's getting up and walking out of your office at one time.
This is true.
It's just, these folks are going this day, these folks are going that day, and so.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, there is a few events that get bigger in nature, and then it's an all hands on deck type of
Correct.
situation. But
Correct. Like our grand opening ribbon cutting that we did for the surgical center,
Yeah.
Dr. Wenner's Surgical Center on the corner of Country Club.
It's a beautiful facility.
And I call Untana, because
Yeah.
that's where Union and Montana switch over. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. The ribbon cutting went off without a hitch. And then they had some wonderful speakers, and the city and community really
got a
came
real nice
out.
facility out there too.
Heck
So
yeah.
that was cool to see too. But we do those all the time. Also, chamber members, business after hours. If you've got a milestone to celebrate or not,
If you just want to show off, that's
Yeah.
what our business after hours is for.
we can schedule those. and get them happening,
Gary
too.
is awesome at getting all of that scheduled. Our business after hours start at 5. We try to wrap up by about 6:30. 7 at the absolute latest if it's really going gangbusters, or at least Gary and I will be out. But it is that time to be able to showcase who you are, what you do, and if the only reason that you want to do in a business after hours is because you just want to do one,
sure,
we welcome that. But a lot of times we do have businesses that are like, oh, well, we did a remodeling, or we moved locations, or we've been here for so many years.
New management. Or,
and it doesn't have to be the 3, 5, 10, 15-year anniversary.
This is our 17th anniversary. All right.
Exactly.
Hippie Chicks does that all the time. I love Terry.
Well, that fits the motif. It's Hippie Chicks.
Yeah.
Nothing is by the book at a place called Hippie Chicks.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
She's like, I've been open for 17 and a half years. We're like, let's celebrate.
That's
this is awesome.
Yeah, it's getting to Dr. Seuss land here and doing stuff. And what are we going to do? I don't know. We got a flibbity widget over there. We're just going to do that.
What else do we have on our calendar for July, Gary?
We have, real tight together, we have 3 big ribbon cuttings coming up. We have the first one will be on the 12th of July at the Area 52 Family Entertainment Center on 1008 West Tilden. It is their 5-year anniversary.
Nice. So if you want to do, they do the virtual reality stuff. They do the
laser tag. They have the axe throwing. They have the smash room.
They do parties and stuff. So if you want to like book a I say kids party, but
can be an adult party.
The ribbon cutting will be at 3 p.m. But I know there are all kinds of activities scheduled for that day.
So imagine while you go into that grand opening, you might be able to throw an axe or two or do something.
Exactly. Smash a couple coffee carafes or something in the smash room. You know. But and then we have a ribbon cutting on the 17th at 10:30 a.m. at Loveless. They have a new mammography
machine. Yeah, they've updated their mammogram department, so they have a mammography machine that they're bringing out, and it's going to be a big to-do. Once again, Loveless is going to have lots of things going on, so it'll be the ribbon cutting as well as getting to know everybody and having the tour.
Instead of the IED, it's IUD.
Did anybody consult?
That's right.
Did anybody consult with the food people? Make sure there's breakfast burritos available.
Oh, I know. Oh,
we'll have to talk to Nick about
that. I've had many a conversation about Loveless's breakfast burritos on this show. They are very good.
They do a
great
job.
And then the following day, we have a ribbon cutting at 2 p.m. in the afternoon at Bitter Lakes Farm out at 353 North Red Bridge Road. And so that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to getting out there.
Yeah, they got a lot going on out there. They're doing a couple. I mean, they like if you want pistachios and stuff, they got you covered on that kind of stuff. They sell that kind of stuff.
And they're little baby pistachios right now because they're younger trees.
Gotcha.
So they're not going to be big like when you go down to Alamogordo.
So give them a year or two, and then
give them a year or two, and they're going to be just as wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're delicious as they are. They're just little.
They're doing a lot
babies.
of community-minded events like that. That's where they were doing you want to learn to make the adobe bricks and all that kind of stuff. They were doing that out at the Bitter Lakes Farms. I think their end game is they want to build I love this, is like a sweat equity kind of deal where they have folks come out that are homeless or needing to kind of get a reboot, come out there and teach them to build their adobe houses and set up shop there for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like what they're talking about is possibilities out there. So yeah, that's a cool. I love what they're doing out there. So when is that? 17th? You said
18th.
That's 18th.
Is there a ribbon
July.
cutting at Bitter Lakes Farms? And then we've had the gentleman, the family that runs that here on a couple times, and they're some
the
cool
Clean
people.
Smiths. They're fantastic.
They're cool people, and I love the ideas what they're trying to do. They basically are like, we got this patch of land. How can we maximize it for community stuff and our personal stuff? And quite frankly, like you were talking about the pistachios, literally, they're doing the hold my beer on that one. They're basically, everyone told them, what are you doing? We grow pecans here, not pistachios. And they're literally saying, hold my beer. I'm going to grow some pistachios.
Yeah.
Right?
Because they were told they couldn't. I had I had a couple years ago, a long talk with them. And because I had asked them, I said, what? I didn't think that they could grow other than like in Alamogordo because of the type of soil. And he goes, we can do it. And they're doing it, and it's fantastic.
It's nuts, man.
It is.
And then also near and dear to my heart, there's no ribbon cutting involved, but being a member of the American Legion and the VFW, I'd like to promote their barbecues. They're having 6:30 p.m. at the Montana
Post 28. It's American Legion Post 28 facility.
Post 28, and it is a consolidated effort between Post 28, Post 61, VFW 1284, 12184.
There you go.
and also the Chaves County Veterans Association.
Yeah. And of course, I think they'll start with a flag ceremony there at about 6 or whatever, and then they're gonna have a cookout barbecue. I think they're gonna be grilling up burgers and whatnot.
Donations accepted, but it's supposed to be free dinner. So
and come, and they love to invite veteran families, and of course, if they are all the organizations are going to be, if you're interested in being a Legionnaire or a VFW member, they will be offering those opportunities at the event. So.
Absolutely.
And of course it's Post 28, so that they have the bar there. So if you want to enjoy an adult beverage or two, they got you covered, and so you can come and enjoy the bar and have a meal.
Bring your ID.
Yeah, and I believe you're paying for drinks. I mean, I think the food's free, but
right,
you're buying drinks.
Which is fair.
Yes, absolutely.
But the rest of July is open for anybody that is thinking about having a ribbon cutting or a business after hour. My Thursday evenings are pretty much open.
Or
so
if you want to set up for August and September now,
please do.
We do have stuff coming in August. I just don't want to make any announcements on that
the
yet.
Milestone thing is like, hey, in November, my 5-year anniversary, I want to lock that down now. Great, we can do that for you, no problem. Absolutely. One other thing I think we want to mention too is Leadership Roswell applications.
Yes, Leadership Roswell applications are open until 5 p.m. on July 31st.
We are officially in the final month of signups.
Yes, so please, and once again, roswellnm.org, there is a huge red button that says apply for Leadership Roswell
It's
now.
probably going to be the first thing you see when you open up to the page.
Yes.
It's right in your face.
Yes. Well, maybe the picture of our mural, and then there's
right
this
there,
big
yeah.
red button.
Yeah.
But it's online. If you're the kind of person that's not super tech savvy, we do have paper copies at the office. And as soon as you finish filling out the digital application, I do get an email notification, so I know that it's been there.
Good
and I will reply back to you. Hey, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And of course, if you're not familiar, it's a great program. I just interviewed Rick and the folks there a week or two ago. Brandon, yeah.
Yep.
It was Brandon and also Drew.
Yes.
Yeah, the next class president as well. But anyway, had a great conversation. Go back and check that interview out. We talk really about what Leadership Roswell is if you're not familiar with it, but it really is a great opportunity to network, teach leadership, obviously, but also get plugged into how the sausage is made in Chaves County, pretty much.
Because you get to know the city, the county, and
state.
In January, we go up to Santa Fe, so you get to meet all the state people, and then throughout the year, you get to go to FLETC, for example, and I don't know if that's going to happen with all the new things that are happening.
Each year,
I don't
it's a little
know
different on some of those.
Some of these, but in the past, we've gone to FLETC, and they've learned all about what they do. They've toured Leprino.
Got to shoot guns when I went.
Yeah, I got to shoot guns when I went too.
Confidence course at Assurance Home.
Yeah.
So it's all of those types of things. And
Not
of
my
course,
favorite one, by the way. I'm not a fan of heights. That was not my. I mean, it was a great class. Don't get me wrong, but I was not what you call excited to go shimmy up the poles.
So those are
that
the
slide
things.
for life was awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things that happen, and of course, you're going to go into this class day one, and you may know one or two people. But I've seen a couple of classes where nobody really knew each other. They were like, "Oh, I know of you."
Sure, I seen you the thing.
But by the end of the 9 months, because it's one Friday a month for 9 months, with the exception of in January, it is an overnight
in Santa Fe.
But for the most part, it's one Friday a month.
And then occasionally, if there is the FLETC trip, they're like, "We can't do Friday. It's going to be a Wednesday
Correct.
or whatever it is." We're at the mercy of some of our.
But you get to know not only your class members, but you're going to learn and meet so many people in the community. And I'll be honest, I didn't believe it when I went through the program that they were like, this is going to help shot put you into places that you have no idea where you're going yet. And it is so true, because I went in the 16-17, so 10 years ago. And it definitely shot-putted me to be able to have the connections and know people that I probably would not have known otherwise.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great program. And but I will tell you this, like you said, you can get the applications at our website. This is not a quick fill out your name and all this. That they're asking thought-provoking questions.
Yes.
Questions of the nature of like, what do you think Roswell's greatest asset is, greatest problem? And they don't want you to just give one-word answers here. They say, Roswell's biggest problem, crime. Okay, elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? What are you talking? They really want to get your opinions on these things and what you think, our greatest needs are, our greatest assets are, and what, and you'd be amazed at the different answers you get from different people. But these are thought-provoking questions. So please don't, on July 31st, download the thing and think you can knock it out in 5 minutes and turn out. You might want to give it a weekend to percolate and think about your answers and things.
Absolutely.
Another thing I will tell you is getting references does help your cause.
Oh, it is. It definitely. It's not a requirement, but it definitely helps because then that way, when the panel is looking over those applications, they can go, oh, okay, Dr. Smith said that Joe is this, that, and the other thing. It just kind of puts pieces together, connections together.
Put it this way, because of my job as a radio guy, I know a lot of people. So when I turn in my application, I'm really I'm asking the mayor, I'm asking the president of the college, I'm asking county commissioners, I'm asking city managers, county managers. I was asking everybody.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna lie, I stacked the deck for me.
Well, exactly. And also, here's another thing. If you work in a business, so I'm going to pick on Pioneer for a second because they tend to send a lot of applications through. If you know that your buddy has put in an application and you work at the same company, still put your application in.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many years that either multiple people from the same company get in because their applications have...
I know, like Fletzy in the college, they generally... have a couple
the
people.
Hospitals tend to, so if you're a bigger company and put your application in, but also you never know. Maybe your application's going to score higher than somebody else's because it is a blind panel.
I have done it one year, but it's never the same every year.
Correct.
And I think Rick is the only person that truly knows who
everybody is. And I think everybody changes every year. I don't think it's been the same person
I've done
2
it
years
once.
in a row.
Yeah, I did it once a couple years ago, and I've never been asked to do it since.
So they translate it to Braille so that the blind people can read the reservations?
Yes, absolutely. But no, that's what's cool is that it's independently scored. So, for example, if you don't get in, do not call me and roast me. I do not have any control over who does or does not get in. I mean, obviously, I see all of the applications, and there have been years that I'm surprised on who does not put their name in. I'm never surprised at who puts their names in, but I'm surprised at, I'm like, oh, I thought for sure so-and-so would have put it there. And another thing, if you put your application in last year or in a previous year, put your application in again. There's only 30 seats available, and we usually get 40 or 50 applications every year.
So
somebody's going to be told no. If you have applied in the past, you do get weighted more on your application. Yeah. And I've known people that it took even 3 years to get in. And you know what? Sometimes there's a reason for that because you just it's
a numbers game.
It wasn't a fit for you, but then you get in and you're in the class where you need to be.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, they put weight, but it also shows dedication. Like when Rick and whoever he has doing the selection that year, he says this is the second time this person's tried, which proves that this person obviously is committed to want to do this.
Correct.
And that's part of it too, because there is a commitment. Like you said, there's the full Friday a month for from September or from August till May.
Correct.
And then of course, like you said, the weekend trip or the 2-day trip to Santa Fe. But on top of that, there's outside meetings. Because you're going to be doing community projects in a group setting, and so you're going to have to basically find some kind of charitable thing to do, some organization, and that's going to require time outside of the Fridays and all that.
Correct.
So you're going to have to, do, because you put it this way, the 30 people, the 29 other people you may or may not know, you're going to know very intimately by the end of that year. And and I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be 1 or 2 people in that group that you're probably going to be friends with or connected with probably for the rest of your life.
Your new best friend. You haven't met your new best friend yet, and I promise you're going to meet somebody. Yeah, I went through it 10 years ago, and I know, I mean, there's a handful of people that I'm like, we have stayed in touch. We are still really good friends. I know you have as well.
Matter of fact, Don Weld, the guy that I have on with 60 different hats, him and I were in the same leadership. That's where I first met him. Was in leadership
love
Roswell.
Don. He is such a sweetie.
Yeah, him and Don and I were in the same leadership Roswell class. That's when I first met Don. I also went the year because it would just so happen Dr. Powell was new to town. And so Dr. Powell was in my class, too. He was brand new to the presidency, and that's why we were in the same class together.
Yep. So, yeah, come be a part of it. Put your application in. If you have any questions about the application process, 575-623-5695. You can call me at the office. I'm Andrea, or you can call Gary.
Absolutely.
Or roswellnm.org. And I know we're getting low on time, so one last time, I also want to just push out that the National Championship Air Races are putting on their food service event next week. On the 9th, it's going to be out at the ENMUR campus, the ITC Commons, at 9 a.m. If you need to, you do need to RSVP. Call Kristen Chappell at 575-622-1975, or you can email her at Kristen with a K, Kristen at chaviscounty.net.
Yep.
And the details that I was given is this event will provide detailed discussion regarding participation and application for food vendors and services during the National Championship Air Races.
Yeah, so it sounds like if you plan to be a food vendor at the event,
this is where you need to go. It's a
mandatory meeting. This is not, maybe I should. No, if you plan to be a vendor there, you
or
better
even if you're interested, go call Kristen, get RSVP'd, get out there.
Yep.
Because it may not, I've been talking to a couple different food vendors, and they're like, I don't know if it's going to work for me. I want to go. I'm like, call.
Sure.
Go call Kristen, get RSVP'd, get out there. It costs you nothing next week at 9 a.m. to go get the information, and then you can go, yes, I'm definitely going out there, or maybe I'm not going to go out there, but I see what they're doing.
Sure.
So this is what I'm going to do where I'm at.
And then it gives you time to kind of, if you do need to get in compliance with whatever.
Correct.
Obviously, a lot of the the government paperwork is probably standard. Whether you set up a food truck out here or down there, that stuff's probably the same.
Correct.
What's going to be different is because you have that captive audience out there. I'm going to take a stab that they're trying to set this up so you're not going to screw each other. So there's not going to be 37 hamburger places and only one place to get chicken, or you know what I mean, or whatever that. You know what I mean. They're trying to make it so that you have a good variety.
Because there's nothing worse than having 50,000 people, we could have 80,000 people, because I know I went to the city council meeting last month, and if I remember correctly, they said they're already up in ticket sales from 2023, which is the last time that there was an air race.
Right. 24, they did an air show. Race.
But remember, so this year is both the show and the race, and it's the first time the race has been done since 23. So it's going to be a big deal.
I'm telling you, as cool as the air races will be, the air show is equally cool.
Yes.
This is a bit like they get Thunderbirds and Blue Angels to their show. And in my head, your air show ain't an air show unless you got the Thunderbirds or the Blue Angels as one of your as your headliners, because they're the one seed when it comes to air stunt teams.
Yeah, and if you
no disrespect to the Golden Knights, but you ain't the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds.
I agree. And if you're a non-food vendor at the chamber, I also have applications for those vendors as well. So just once again, 575-623-5695. Give us a call.
And
or come on down 131 West 2nd. We're right across the street from the police station. Oh my gosh, I can't talk now. We're right behind next door to the police station and right behind Subway.
There you go. Come on down.
You can't miss us. We have a huge alien mural.
That's right. Come in there, and if you catch us after hours, go online, or you can always, and if you call, leave a voicemail.
Well, you can always call me. I'm not going to say you can always call Gary. I'm not going to put him out there on the spot, but you can always call me.
Just not after 8 o'clock.
There you go.
But we usually put our cell phones on the front door if we're not there.
Yeah.
Gary's trying on ties at 8 because all the ties his wife makes, he's got to try them on it, and that's what they do at 8 o'clock.
Takes him a couple hours to figure out.
I'm kidding. But very good. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Thank
you. Stay dry today. Stay cool Saturday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go out to the UFO Festival. It's going to be fun. Woohoo!
Come on down. All right, 9:58. Let's play some news before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia firefighters and police officers joined in on Monday to help with painting of the mural near Eagle Draw. Anyone can help create the mural. A sign welcomes people to help create the artwork. The National Championship Air Races recently completed its first ever pylon racing seminar at its new home in Roswell. The 4-day training event brought together race officials, volunteers, and pilots preparing to compete in the upcoming races. The National Championship Air Races are scheduled to take place in September. PRS is a long-standing requirement for pilots who are new to the event or have not raced in the past 3 years. And a few new details in a fatal train incident on Saturday near Alamogordo. Railroad officials said a trespasser was struck and killed by the train near Eddy Drive and Mesa Verde Ranch Road. Kristen South, Senior Director of Corporate Communications with Union Pacific, said the unnamed man was walking along the tracks when he was struck. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.